This episode is brought to you by Farm Bureau Financial Services, Zach Miller Agency. If you're looking for an insurance agent with a personal touch, someone willing to have the real conversations about what's important to you, assistance with submitting claims, and offering quality coverage options, Farm Bureau Financial Services, Zach Miller Agency may be the place for you. Whether you need home, auto, farm, commercial, life, or health insurance, we're here for you. Check us out at agentzachmiller.com. Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Western Agriculture Insurance Company.
All right, welcome everybody. Zach turned this over to me. I'm going to go ahead and start this real quick. I just wanted to start tonight's episode with a prayer, a little bit invocation, if you will, and a small speech prayer type thing, but if everybody just bow their head a little bit. Thank you, God, for bringing us all together here. I want to really thank you for the blessings that you've given me and you've given everybody else here in this room. I want to thank you for getting Zach to have the vision to bring us all together and really, really pushing me on this and getting me to keep going on it. And I'm blessed we've had a great year. Got to meet a lot of new friends in this whole situation we're dealing with here. And I also want to ask for your guidance tonight. Today has been an election day. Whether we feel what we feel, we hope, I want to pray that you've reached out to everybody and everybody has taken your guidance and hopefully voted the way you see fit. And you look over our nation and we get out of this the right way. We're going to have fun tonight. I would ask for you to also look over all of us here tonight and in the future and everybody and their family, including all the loved ones we've lost in this past year on this journey. We've kind of all gone through some stuff here as a group, and we've all lost some friends. We've all lost some family members, some people that we maybe wish we could have got on. We hope we don't do it in the future. And I also personally want to ask that you help guide me to strive to be better and continue on my journey, and hope that I've made all my relatives and people that have gone and friends and everybody happy on this thing. In your name, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
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 And we've given Anita the great thing of doing a toast for 1 year, so go ahead.
Yeah, so I just want to say cheers, obviously, to the start of this podcast. I remember a number of years ago sitting around drinking with Zach and him just talking about this vision of wanting to do the podcast and what he had planned for it. And so to see it all kind of come around has been super cool, and to watch it even expand beyond what he originally thought it was going to be. So cheers to Zach, cheers to Vance for stepping up to be a great co-host. These two mesh super well. Cheers to the spouses, the significant others that kind of give up their time with the rest of these fellas too, to make the podcast happen. Cheers to the people that have come on the podcast. I can say, at least for me, and I'm sure for a whole lot of people, judging by, the viewership and things like that, that it's been a lot of fun getting to know the people around the community in various different roles and various different stages of life and various different topics. It's just been a lot of fun. I can't wait to see where this goes. Cheers to many, many more years of AgentLife Media and all of the sub-podcasts that have grown into this. We have a number of them here tonight, too. So cheers to all of you. Cheers to AgentLife Media and a long future of podcasting.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. My next guests are a rowdy group of degenerates that decided to start a podcast during a time when podcast market is saturated. AgentLife Media Group thanks the whole group for being here today. I'm Zach Miller with my co-host Vance Neidig, and we are touching base with AgentLife Media Group. I think we've all had a great time this year. I think it's been a lot of fun. We have the whole crew here to celebrate our 1 year of Agent Life Media Group. It is Election Day. We are live on Rumble. We will stay on Rumble live throughout the whole thing. We'll do a couple hours of this, and then we will go into kind of election coverage and handle all that business. But I kind of want to start off. Useless Assumptions technically was the first show.
That's correct. We definitely, that was the first one we did, and because we didn't need a guest for that, we could just go ahead.
We could just do what we wanted to do.
The two of us could just go.
Correct.
So that was the first one. That was my most nervous one.
Yeah, technically this is a celebration for that show, and obviously Agent Life Media Group as a whole. It started as a conversation, and then us getting the equipment. Vance kind of talked about that in the beginning with his prayer. Vance and I started the concept, and Ryan, who's sitting right up here in front, was intrigued right away and helped with the art and producing for quite a while. So we thank him for coming back on the show today, and been a while.
Yep, glad to be here.
Awesome. I want to kind of go down the line from our most recent show that has joined the group, and then we'll kind of go down the line. So, Kale, Sam, TNT boys, can you guys kind of walk us through kind of how the thing started for you guys and how you got started?
Kale's definitely the brainchild behind it, so I'm going to let him take it away here.
Hello, my name is Kale. You probably know me from the TNT Boys. It's kind of weird because I'm kind of feeling nervous even though I have my own show and everything, so I got the butterflies going on right now. Sam and I, we've known each other for a long time. We've always loved talking about sports, bullshitting, all that kind of stuff, and we just finally decided to, let's pull the trigger when we saw these two start it, and we thought it'd be a good idea. We actually sat down with Zach for about an hour or two. We just, kind of planned it out and everything, and we are here right now. So we enjoy doing it, We've kind of, took some trips recently to do some filming. We're kind of trying to expand our, I guess, not just to sports, but like other areas of topics and stuff. I don't know how else to explain it, So, I mean, Sam, like you said, I do a lot of stuff. Sam helps. I taught him some stuff. There's some stuff that he doesn't know, and there's always going to be stuff I don't know, too. But, yeah.
There's always a yin and a yang to a show, though, right?
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah. You guys kind of have the same setup as Vance and I kind of do, where you and I kind of handle the editing side and all that cool stuff, and they bring all the cool, quirky stuff and all the editing and everything, and just like, all right, looks good. And then you go show them like, sure, yeah. I don't know.
I'm what one would call a color commentator.
Yeah, there you go. Sam, him and I, we just go together like bread and butter, to be honest with you. So peanut butter and jelly.
You guys do have a good concept. I mean, when we sat down that day, we went to Pizza Hut, I believe, of all places. And you guys asked me if you guys could kind of be a part of the whole thing. I know you guys were nervous, but kind of walk through that a little bit.
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, before we did this, I'd still have a little bit of that feeling because sometimes when I talk to Zach, it's like, oh God, I gotta talk like a big boy for this kind of stuff, and it's kind of hard for me to do that because I feel like I'm awkward all the time. So it's like I have Sam do some stuff, and it's like, here, message him, do this, do this, do that. I'm not kidding. That's how it started too. Like, all right, I need you to message him because I can't do it.
I was gonna say Sam messaged me first, right?
Yeah, it's because I kind of knew Zach a little bit better than Kale did at first, and I was originally on Touching Base actually for an episode it's about a year ago now. And Kale reached out to me about wanting to start a podcast about like sports and just a number of different things. Really, just us, like he said, just us bullshitting pretty much, and about a number of different things. But he'd have me reach out to Zach because he was like, I'm too scared. I'm just like, it's just Zach. Like, it's like, just talk to him. Like, obviously now you have that relationship, but there's times where he's like, could you message Zach and ask him this? I'm just like, okay, sure.
Wasn't that bad, was it?
It's about as equivalent as with, when you're an adult, you have to make that first phone call by yourself. It's like, oh no.
Was that your first cold call or something? Was that
no.
Having to sit down for a meeting like that?
Yeah, like professional wise, going there by myself, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I got this, yeah.
You guys came in prepared. I'll give you that. So it was a good thing you guys did that. And then Vance said hell no right away. But no, I'm just kidding.
I clearly
Wow.
did. No, yeah, I'm the guy that's actually everybody thinks Zach's mean. No, I'm way meaner. No, but actually, when he did tell me about it and that this was going to go on, I was kind of surprised because, like you said, you were on, Sam, and I mean, you had it, and you're one of our first ones. You're a little nervous to begin. A lot of cough drop. I mean, you did have a coughing fit or whatever, but then it kind of seemed like the cough drops were kind of a crutch a little bit. Like, I'm just going to keep going with them. But you warmed
I
up.
thought he was going to overdose on cough drops. He ate like 20 cough drops.
Yeah. And then as the episode went on, you definitely got much more relaxed, and so I think it's really cool that that's kind of how that transpired like that. So.
And your episode was in the old dungeon, the old hot box. Yeah.
It did get a little warm in there.
I was going to say, actually, both podcasts that we had.
Yeah.
Spin off of it were from the old dungeon. Yeah.
We had to, I turned the air down to like 55 degrees every time we did a podcast.
in the middle of winter.
In the middle of winter.
I can respect that.
Yeah. Oh,
I
100%
sleep
did.
with 2 fans in my room, and my fiance hates that.
A couple of times I forgot, and the girls would show up in the morning and be a little upset.
And the girls would be mad about the chairs being in the wrong size, because I was notorious. Like, if the chair is not comfortable for me, I'm going to change it. This is how this is going to work.
Like Sam and I always say, you'll be all right in the morning. You just go on with your day. You'll be all right.
So how do you see you guys? How do you feel you guys are doing?
I think we're doing pretty well. I think, at one point it kind of seemed a little overwhelming, but then as you get through with some of the stuff and the overwhelmed part, you kind of get to be yourself, like we said. It gets better, You get to see I've personally, like I said, I do a lot. So, like, I see the analytics. The shorts have helped a lot. We've gained about 30 subscribers since July, which is good. And I feel like what I'm doing now with the whole sports things, I feel like it's kind of like, cliche, but like it helps. But I'm just trying to figure out how to grow a little bit more. But other than that, yeah, I think it's pretty good.
I've seen a little bit of inner workings. Obviously, we kind of all had a meeting. We did an episode, filmed an episode, and the 4 of us were sitting down and talking, spitballing stuff together. And it seems like you guys had great ideas and kind of have hit the ground running since that point. Like, it's kind of,
with
you
who
guys
you
have
got.
taken off, and you guys have done a lot more stuff. You did got all your preseason stuff done, and who you got every week and stuff.
We
like
had a
that.
little heart to heart.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, but it's good. Sometimes, we had a good conversation, and good ideas were said by you guys, and you guys did what you said you were going to do. And That's awesome. That's what we love that.
That 30-minute idea you gave me, actually, that's how I thought of who you got. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's just do like a pick kind of show every week. So like next year, we're actually been planning it a little bit. We want to expand with some people in this room if they are willing to do it. We thought about doing teams, kind of make it like a fantasy football kind of deal. I already have like a whole record book of stuff in Google Docs. So
it's kind of fun. And like, I'm bringing a little sore subject here for me and Sam, but we made our first like inter podcast bet,
Yeah.
The Lions and Packers played obviously on Thursday. Or on Sunday, we all know how that went. Wasn't good for mine and Sam's teams, and it is what it is. But and we're looking at doing that a little more between podcasts, and hopefully it'll bring a little bit of rivalry / bring viewers between all of us. So.
I'm already getting my affirmations ready.
My daily posts are always going to be backhanded compliments, by the way. And
They have to be. They have to be.
Kale thought he was going to run away with the who you got, because I think he started off like 4-0, and I'm catching up. I think I'm only 1 game off now, and actually my overall record is better on the season
There you go.
for overall. And yeah, so it's a good competition. So
What's been your guys' favorite part of having your own show?
I just have fun with it. Like, I enjoy talking about the different subjects we talk about, whether it's sports, primarily football, obviously. We've done a few episodes about lifting, which is, my wheelhouse. Having different guests on. We've had a few different guests on to talk about numerous different things. And then just the random episodes we do talking about just personal, like personal trips we went on and like different stories and stuff like that. So
For me, I just meeting new people, like Van said at the beginning, traveling here and there. He doesn't like the food challenges as much as I do. I mean, I'm a big boy, so
I'm never doing that burger shit ever again. That was terrible. I felt like shit the next day, like afterwards, after all of it. The taco thing was fine. The Canadian snacks was fine, but the burger, like eating at 3 different burger places in one day, never doing that again.
I'll tell you what, I would have to agree with that. I felt like shit after that one.
What was that place? Sicky's Garage?
Yeah, Sicky's Garage. They had like an egg on it, onion ring, hot sauce, or something.
That's beautiful.
Combination of foods you can just throw them together and it's just a big shit show.
Which it was a good video, but
Probably was a shit
next
show at the end of that, huh?
Next time, drink heavily before.
that was the plan. But we got tired.
All of them would be exactly delicious.
That was the plan, but we got tired. You know, young bodies and
the
everything.
meat
We're just
sweats.
getting tired like old people. But we did a video on it. But I wish I had better audio equipment at the time. I really do. Kind of looking at it now. But
It's all a learning curve,
yeah,
right?
and that's when I discovered my phone's mic didn't work.
Yeah.
So,
But hey, you put it out, right?
yeah, I mean, content's content, I guess, right? So like, hey, you
100%.
you learn from your mistakes and you keep going.
100%. What's the hardest part? Or the most frustrating thing?
Originally, it was just really coming up with content to create, but now we're really not struggling with that. So,
Well, it's
I
football.
think-
It's football season.
yeah, well, yeah, that's true. But again, it's, just some of the other non-football related stuff we create is, I think, become easier to create. And then also just when you first start, just actually talking and presenting and all that stuff that goes into it, which has really just become more natural to us now.
Have you guys learned to start writing your concepts down as you think of them?
Yeah. Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
If I have an idea, I start to research some stuff, and sometimes I do use ChatGPT just to kind of help me like word some things for me. But for the most part, we just sit down and we'll write it down on the Google Docs. I mean, you guys see how I format everything.
If I get into a brain fart, I use ChatGPT.
Yeah, so I don't have the greatest grammar or literacy.
Keep
Grammar.
fishing.
Yeah, let's go. Let's just stick with grammar.
Okay, so I have the
stick with
Norfolk
grammar,
High
Canadian.
education. So, yeah, I have them proofread stuff. So it's like, okay, make sure this sounds good. Don't want to look like I'm dumb. So
Hey, I still have Vance proofread some things sometimes.
So when he's reaching out, like, because we'll like try to reach out to some people to have on the podcast once in a while, and he's like, "Can you proofread this for me?" And I'm like, "Dude, like all sorts of grammatical errors," and I'm just like, "Dude, I'm just gonna delete it all and just type it myself." All right, at this point, like,
I don't think that's ever happened between us. Usually, it's just like we'll change a word here
Yeah,
and there.
yeah.
Like, what? This word sounds better than
doesn't
this word.
sound good this way. Let's insert said word here.
but the biggest issue I've had right now is trying to like, I want to like go and ask guests, like scheduling people, but like, again, growing the balls to ask certain people. Cause like right now I have a former Husker I got the number to, like a phone number. He's a principal in Pierce, I found out. So I'm going to try to get him, but just growing the pair of nuts to do it is what's going to.
Hey, the worst thing they can say is no.
That is true. That is true. Because I want to kind of go into that Bo Pelini era and try to figure out like how was Bo as a person and stuff like that. And then another
Just
thing.
call Bo.
Yeah.
Call Will.
Hey,
We'll get you
Bo.
on the phone with
Slide
Bo.
into his DMs, see what he's got.
Yeah. But no, another thing that I think I don't like the most is probably sometimes that editing can take sometimes. And it's like you don't think it's good, but you think it's good. And then you fight back and forth, like the mental part of it. It's like, holy cow, like right
You're worried
now-
about the mental part, not just the time-consuming piece
No,
of it?
it's most of the time-consuming part. But like right now, I'm building a vlog video, a little sneak peek, I guess. We did a Des Moines trip, so it's like, okay, I've never done a vlog before, so it's like, okay, does this look good? And should I put this here? And then it's like cut, and everything. It's like, all right, yeah.
I get tired of it, and I do way less editing than you do.
I know.
So-
I mean, I've stopped doing the other stuff in my videos, so I just now for like the podcast itself, I just throw the podcast video in there since I got it all on my computer, and I just move some stuff around and call it good, and I just ship it out.
That's the way to do it.
Exactly.
That's the way to do it. What I mean, I don't want to keep going to favorite parts and things like that, but as far as your experience with Agent Life Media Group as a whole, what has been the funnest part of that piece of it? Us as a whole group.
I don't know how to describe this because like that's a tough question for me. Like as a whole, I think it's great talking to you guys. I don't know you very much. I don't know you very much. I know Cameron somewhat. I know Preston, my favorite bald guy.
Love how he's just pointing. I don't fucking know you. I don't fucking know you. I don't know you.
You can get bent.
You're cool.
You
You're
can
cool.
kick rocks.
There's the door.
As a whole, I think it's been a great, experience. It's a first time thing. I think Agent Life has been taking care of us, making sure we are good and stuff. And
That's all, Vance.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you, Vance.
I'm a very housekeeping type person, like very heartwarming guy.
Yeah,
Anything, fluff your pillow.
I can definitely see
I
that.
mean, that's the type of person I am.
Empathy. That's what you get. You're
Very
strong.
big on. I'm an empath, is what they call me.
Yep.
Very big on empath.
I really enjoyed like
Where's the
early
furthest
on,
thing
like
from?
before we created our own like space, like our own studio space, coming here and just like recording here at Zach's and whoever might show up, just kind of shooting the shit and before and after shows, and I think that's fun, just developing the camaraderie and the friendships along the way.
I would agree. I think it's always good to have a group to fall back on.
Yep.
So it's good you guys asked to be a part of it. We didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a sports show, but it was very starting to lean more towards the politics of sports, and
Yeah.
you guys came in right at the right time to just pick up the whole sports side of it. So it
Yeah.
worked out, and we just kind of
we
left
go.
that area.
With us being in football, we actually are trying to expand into other sports too. Because like
Cricket.
cricket, I guess we could do that, but we just
Hey,
released.
women's sports are wide open from useless. We're not gonna-
100%.
we don't touch those. So you guys
You
can
guys
be our
can
new
cover every
women's
single
sports.
one of them. Women's sports, you can cover
Oh.
all of them. Yeah.
I've actually been watching WNBA just a little bit, kind of keeping up a little bit, but not really interested very much. So, anyway, so like the last episode we just released yesterday, we were actually trying to do a thing. We're gonna go look back at like seasons, teams, players, and it's not really an official series. If we were to call it anything, I'd call it like player profile, team profile, or whatever. And we just look back through like the whole season, what we could have done or what they could have done better as a team, or where did we we talked about the last second kick. Still struggling with that one. It still hurts. Damn you, Texas. Damn you. But no, yeah, we like having our own space and be able to go in there and create 4 episodes a day, and if we wanted
It worked
to.
out better because we were having to schedule, with me and trying to fit into my schedule. We were recording 2 or 3 episodes at a time, and you guys couldn't keep
Yep.
up with, the day-to-day stuff of the NFL. So we kind of suggested, kind of if you have the
Yeah.
stuff, go ahead and do it. I think that's worked out really good for you guys.
Yeah, I think the mics were probably the best investment, not just for the podcast, but like for my gaming side of things.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
100%.
keep going doing that too. So
Does anybody else have any questions for the TNT boys? Off the top of anybody's head.
I won't bite, I swear.
When are we doing the snacks from around?
No more food shit. I already said.
No. Kale and I already talked about it, of the worst foods, of snacks.
Oh yeah,
and
I forgot to
whatnot
tell you
eat.
about that. Surprise!
Your guys' communication is top tier.
No, that was a good idea. We thought about Vegemite and stuff like that.
Hey, do you know how you fix that communication issue? Create a calendar.
You'll see, we tried.
Will you follow the calendar?
tried.
and do the
Give
next
your
thing?
partner shit
follow
when they
it.
won't respond
Now.
to you.
That too.
To follow up on your question, we actually are been talking about hot wings kind of challenge. So maybe the 50th episode for us.
How many episodes you guys at now?
We have 2 recorded that need to get up.
106
Yeah, I wish. 32 or 33.
total.
Yeah,
You're at 32 total.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Really?
It seems more
No,
than that.
33. We're at 33.
Really? Through all the different stuff?
Really? I
Really?
thought
I
you guys were
figured it
closer to
was
50.
more.
I really thought.
I know. I looked at the other. I was like, how the hell am I still in the 30s?
I was like, you guys are flying to catch us.
I don't count who he got. That's a whole different thing itself.
Oh, count that. That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm
so
talking
then
all.
count that.
Yeah, he said everything.
On total, then we have about 100 realistically. If I
About
saw-
100, yeah, it was about 106. I think I was pretty close.
I was gonna say you're kind of where Zach and I are
Yeah, go
in a
team.
much shorter amount of time.
Much shorter amount of time.
Go team, go team. But no, yeah, that was our plan. So
Awesome. Anything else you guys want to say to the viewers out there? We do have quite a few. So
For the Who You Got challenge, one more thing is Kale's last 2 wins were on tiebreakers, so he got lucky. So it's basically I'm just gonna win out the rest of the season, just so everyone knows for the Who You Got. I'm never wearing that clown shirt ever again.
whatever you say, clown.
I already got to wear your Lions jersey, so that's clown
they
shirt
play again,
enough.
too?
That's good enough.
In
But-
like 5 weeks.
so you guys got to do it again. You might have to be wearing a Lions jersey again.
The
Yeah.
worst part about it is I got to wear a Lions jersey for that goddamn.
I know.
long.
I know.
I didn't realize it was that far between.
I know. That's what he
was like,
said
oh,
to me.
shit.
That's what he said to me. I'm like, how the hell is that gonna work? I'm
Oh,
like,
that was part of the bet. You had to wear it until the next game.
Yeah, I
no.
think we might have to change that a little
And
bit.
then I
but
was like-
can't
Oh, we don't
do it.
change
It's
bets
the
on
rule.
this podcast.
That's the rule.
and then I was like, man, I feel bad for your jersey. It might stretch out because I got to put it on and it might not fit. I'll make it fit.
All right, so for you viewers out there, if you guys like sports and want a great sports podcast, go listen to the TNT Boys. They drop a lot of stuff throughout the week. Do you guys do it? Is it a double release now? Is that what you guys are doing? No?
No, it's one regular episode and one Who You Got episode.
So 2. So you get
Two.
2 episodes a
Yep.
week. And what
Yep.
days are those coming out?
Who You Got comes out on Thursdays, and regular episodes come out on Mondays. Right.
Okay, so Mondays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's kind of move into the people that have kind of been subbing into the podcast or have been here shortly. Let's start with Yoshi. You're going to have to speak here. So, Yoshi, what has your experience been like helping out the show, producing behind the scenes and doing all that?
It's been fun. I mean, we've done. I've done Useless. I've done the Touching Base. I definitely like the Useless Assumption more. There's a lot more activity going back here for me than just kind of sitting back here and just dealing with audio issues.
You fall asleep on Touching Base or what?
I wouldn't say all the time, but there are some conversations or people that come on that they have information and stuff to talk about that's above my head or I haven't done research about. So I don't know as much as, you and Vance do. But there are some that, intrigue me.
We just fake it till we make it, man.
Like I said, it's been fun. Like I said, the Useless Assumption is my favorite. I get a little more saying it, I guess. I throw some TikToks up there that are kind of funny, or you might ask me about how the day's going or what it might be. So
Yeah.
to me, I like the Useless Assumption better, but I do like the Me and the New People, though, on Touching Base.
Good. That's awesome. We appreciate you coming in and filling in for Cole when he can't make it.
Yeah, it's always
Even if it's 10 minutes before the show starts.
yeah, it's always a fun time having to fill in for Cole and kind of show everybody who's the better producer. But it is what it is, I suppose.
I think we found out that Mark might be better than everybody.
I guess
Shots fired.
I guess we're have a job then.
All right, Ryan, you started with us, and then life got busy.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about your experience on the show and what you enjoyed about being on the show.
Well, when we first started, I started with Useless. I enjoyed that with starting out talking a lot about sports. I wasn't real big into politics and all that. I kind of tried to avoid it, to be honest with you, because it's a shit show. So out of sight, out of mind. But you guys kind of opened my eyes a little bit and forced me to pay attention a little more. I'm sure my wife hates it now 'cause I have a lot
Are you like
stronger
are you
opinions.
all in now or what?
Yeah, yeah, it's brutal, but it's good now. I Touching Base was a lot of fun. One of the first ones I did there. I think I sat in on Bryce's.
Yep.
That was the first one I was a part of.
You actually brought him to us.
Yep. I felt like he'd be a good interview for you guys. He's been through a lot. And
Kind of blew me out of the water, in all honesty, when you brought him on. It wasn't what I was expecting. It was a great episode.
To this day, that is still one that people say is one of the best interviews we've done. So
That's awesome.
Yep. So we appreciate you giving us that access.
Yeah. I'm still learning a lot from him with his TikTok editing and all his stuff. He's been helping promote our haunted trail that we've been doing, and we're doing a lot of promotions that way. But
How did that go, by the way?
really good. We only did 3
It was
weekends.
complete bullshit.
Vance screamed like a little bitch, but I heard him scream from across the trail. I was laying underneath the exorcist bed, and I go, that sounds like Vance.
God, I wish I would have went now.
Complete bullshit.
You should have filmed that.
It was pretty good because I'm pretty sure when I popped out, you're like, fuck you.
I was walking by because I saw the bed. I knew he was going to be in the bed. He told me I'm under the bed. He had already talked about it. I was like, no.
Oh, you told him where you were going to be?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. I knew where he was. And I was like, fuck this. I'm walking right by it. No, all of a sudden, I was like, fuck you, Battershaw. Fuck you. I ain't doing this shit. I tried to talk my girlfriend into not making me a participant, but we've compromised, and apparently I was one of these that said I was a participant.
There you go. You signed the waiver. You were ready for
We
it.
did. But yeah, we ended up having, I think, 130 people the first night, 260 the second weekend, and then about 220 the third.
That's
So,
awesome.
I went that second weekend. It was packed. Like, there was a ton of people there.
I'm glad you guys did well. We tried to kind of throw it out there for you.
Oh, well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only going to get bigger and better. We're getting a zombie bus and all that.
How many
kind of
years have you done it?
This was the third year, but this is the first year we actually opened it up to the public. So first year was family, second year was free will donation, and kind of just I don't even know what you would call it.
Family, friends type of thing.
family friends
Yeah.
type deal. And then this was open to everybody.
Well,
this year.
tell all the viewers what it's called and where they can find it.
The Battershaw Trail of Terror. It's located 6 miles south of Norfolk. It's 55471 835th Road is the address. Every Saturday in October. Next year, we're going to be adding some dates and different things.
And you're on Facebook and TikTok.
Yep, Facebook and TikTok. TikTok is at battershaw.trail, and
We've shared a few videos. If you go to ours, you can see some reposts. So.
Yep, and we've been trying to promote your guys' pages too from our TikTok, kind of reposting and keeping that going.
Not all of them, because some of them get a little risque.
Joe Biden's headstone was out in our cemetery, so it's fine.
That's great.
But yeah,
Well, you actually started, going back to the useless, you started in the dungeon too.
yep,
We did.
I did.
That's where
And
we
it
first
was,
It
it was-
got
it was
real
a lot
hot
of fun.
in
I liked it.
We drank a lot.
We did drink a lot.
It kind of changed useless's direction because Zach, it made it better for us because it was me and Zach sitting across a desk from each other, and Zach was doing all the videos, all the stories, all that at the same time while trying to have a conversation, and I would just, which I'm pretty good about carrying a conversation every once in a while. I'm not really that short of breath at times. But at times it got a little bit difficult. And Zach would be moving on to the next one. And there'd be things that he wanted to say sometimes, and he'd be looking to go to the next one. And so it got a little bit difficult. So it was really great to bring that other side of it back onto it. And you kind of pushed us in a direction that was better for everybody.
100%. He also designed the Roulade shirt that I'm wearing at the moment. So go get your Roulade shirts. I know he's not doing that great at the moment, but
I'm still drinking the Roulade.
yeah,
We're
We're
still
still
doing it.
Next year, we're going to shock the nation, national champions.
So hit the link tree.
Missed it by a little bit this year.
Go buy a shirt. All the proceeds help the podcast.
I don't want to hear shit from the peanut section over here in Miami.
Or all the proceeds might go to help hire a new offensive coordinator. I'm not sure. They did grab a consultant.
consultant.
today.
Offensive consultant.
Other than that, though, did you enjoy your time?
Yep.
I know life kind of got busy for you.
Yeah, having 4 kids it takes a lot to do this stuff, and
Turns out the show is kind of tough to
trying
handle,
to
right?
doing 2 shows a week, and it is a lot.
Sometimes 3.
Sometimes
When
3.
you were doing it,
Yeah.
we hadn't quite gone to we were kind of doing it when anybody could do it. We
Yeah.
hadn't really set a schedule when you
Yeah.
were still doing it. So
And we were still doing the interviews for candidates.
Yep.
So that really, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed those touching base episodes. I couldn't vote for any of them because I live technically in the Battle Creek School District, but it's nice to hear policies because I live basically in Norfolk. I work here.
well, like we always said, everything that kind of happens in Norfolk does affect your Madisons, your Battle Creeks, your Stantons, your Pierces,
Yep.
places like that. So
Yeah, and doing the swearing is caring. That was one of the highlights. Getting to meet you guys. I was probably hammered the whole time, so I don't really remember too much, but it was a good time.
you also designed that shirt too.
Yep. So if you guys want
she's
shirts
wearing
and
one.
stuff-
Yep, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. So
Yeah, you were there. I forgot you were there for that part of it too. On the
It's actually the thumbnail of the video
the
in the post I put up.
getting all that going and getting that episode going and getting the party and everything and the T-shirts and we kind of put some stuff back and forth together. I'd sent you. We actually did all that in one night. We were
We
kind
did
of
it
doing
upstairs. That was when we were still recording
Yep,
upstairs.
right after a useless assumptions episode or something, or maybe was it your? No, were you here for?
No, it was a useless episode.
It was a
it was
useless
useless.
episode.
Yep.
And so, you were here for that, and we were going back and forth, and you did the design for even the flyer that we were using too. So
100%. Anything else you want to get out to the people?
No, not at the moment.
You definitely came out of your shell. The first episode, I was a little nervous for you,
Yeah,
but it got much better after that.
Yeah, it was definitely intimidating coming into
It
this.
always is on
I
the first time you're on the mic.
didn't know what to expect. It definitely helps when you kind of get some of the talking points and the notes, and so you know what the hell we're talking about instead of just going in.
Zach
blind
is
every
always
time.
prepared for all the episodes, so it definitely makes that a lot easier.
I am. But at that time, they didn't have notes until I printed them and they showed up for
I think
them.
I was
so
one of
like
the first
now,
ones. Yeah, one of the first useless I was on. You had notes.
it's a little
I think
easy.
that was the first one. Was the one that he came on for useless.
Him?
That was
that
the
I
first
did
time
notes?
you did the notes.
Yeah. So now I do notes ahead of time so people
Makes life a lot
kind of
easier.
have an idea of what's going on. He used to come in blind. So
Yeah, and I'm like, well, I didn't even know that was a thing, so I don't have an opinion on it. So I'm just gonna sit back here and listen to what you have to say.
yeah, your job was difficult. It was difficult at that point in time.
But I definitely enjoyed it, and I think a lot of good came from it. So
That's it. And we really appreciate you bringing on Bryce and everything that you did for the podcast. Fully appreciate that. And you're always welcome back anytime to come hang out or
yeah, you guys
Whatever.
just let me know.
perfect.
I was gonna say, do you have notes for Cole sometimes? Because you be talking about DeWalt and Milwaukee sometimes about capitalism or something.
Cole gets the notes. He just
Yeah,
doesn't read them.
Zach wrote that up, word for word.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that was completely just
That
that
was
was totally
completely
scripted. Yeah. Way to okay. Our resident Kamala over there.
hey, like I said, we just got to make a video of him doing like a documentary style of talking about DeWalt in Milwaukee. It'd be great. Be a hit.
That is a great TikTok. I probably shouldn't use Kamala's face because I think that turns some people away from it in the beginning. But if we ever redo it, we'll make sure it's just your face. We'll get him a camera
You
eventually.
know, DeWalt does some things, and Milwaukee does some other things. And Milwaukee does some things better than DeWalt, and DeWalt does some things better than Milwaukee.
You know,
Preach, brother.
Thanks for explaining capitalism.
it's like Cameron can explain Mac Tool versus Snap-on if you think about it.
I could, but I don't talk about the White Truck brand very well.
They don't do anything well, is what you're saying?
No comment.
No comment.
No comment.
All right, Preston. You've been on what? You were on a touching base episode with
Probably about a
402
handful
Baggers.
of episodes, I would say.
Yeah, probably 4 or 5.
Yeah, a couple
Something like
touching
that.
base. Yeah,
You've definitely
say
been
that.
on Useless.
yeah. You
You filled in and
times,
done
so
some
I'd say-
things.
I would say about 5 or 6 times.
Yeah. So how
Ish.
has your experience been kind of filling in?
It's been good. Yeah, no real negatives, I guess. It's always been a blast coming on, talking about everything from politics, sports to cornhole, I guess, to whatever it may be, whatever I got going on, I guess. Yeah, it's been good. It's been solid.
You always come prepared because you get the notes, but
Because I
you
get
at
the
least
notes.
you at least yeah.
I at least try to study the notes at least a little bit and then look up my own information just in case if I need to do something.
Vance doesn't. So,
But
I
yeah,
know.
otherwise I'll just have tabs pulled up
yeah.
on the computer.
Yeah.
for little mini notes, I guess, on my side of things.
There was a couple topics that we actually, I think we brought you on. Well, you were already coming on, but you had some knowledge on, I think. I don't remember what it was. Something involving computers. I'd have to think about it, but
yeah, I don't know.
you have
But
brought some other knowledge to the podcast that maybe we didn't know.
right.
You know,
But yeah, overall though, it's been a good time, good fun time.
last minute stuff too with you, kind of like Yoshi.
Yeah.
You've never produced though, have you? I've asked you to, but you've been busy.
I've always been busy on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because there's been a few times where I text Yoshi, I can't come. Like, well, Preston's my next in line.
Yeah.
And then I keep going to Dennis Cam.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then it's like,
I know if I get the SOS like at like 5:45 or something like that, I know I'm like by like running out of room or like one of the last to know.
yeah.
Like, hey, we need you.
That was also why
man.
Mark got the late call. That's why he had to produce. Was it last week? No, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks.
2
Right.
weeks ago. So
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe one of these times.
Yeah,
I fill
really,
all the
the
rules.
useless has only been you and Cam for backup hosts.
yeah,
Yeah, it's only the two of you,
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah,
or backup hosts, and also
a third person.
third chair. I think we might have had a fourth chair one time. Didn't we? Were all four of us on one time?
Mark showed up and wasn't on camera one
okay.
time. I don't remember why though.
Couldn't tell you.
Well, maybe he was in town and just wanted to stop by. It's kind of an
Feeling
open.
left out.
It's kind of an open invitation
Yeah,
for people to just kind of.
we're here every Thursday at 7.
Yep.
And Tuesday at 7, apparently.
Apparently Tuesday at 7 as well.
That's technically, this is a touching base episode, but
Technically, and then it's going to turn it'll be live on Rumble the whole time as one thing. This is the touching base portion, and then we will move into a useless portion. So if the shirt's throwing you off, it's because we're going to move into a useless episode. Anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to get? I mean, you
No.
showed up. You want to call us a bunch of dickheads and
No, I mean it's been good. It's
Husker
been fun.
fans, or-
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. I mean, you guys still struggling here yet. So I don't know. I mean, I got a bet to go to the end of the year. The Huskers are not going to make a bowl game, so we'll see.
it's looking like it.
It's probably
so-
going to happen. So
Debatable.
well,
You were here. You were here for the prediction episode, though, weren't you?
yeah, I made my own predictions. Yeah.
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
the second, my original one, then he was here the next week.
Yeah, the
Oh, is
following
that what
week,
it was?
Yeah,
It is
because
the next week.
Vance was gone. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was sick that week and we did it over
Okay.
Discord.
Yeah.
I was there. I was on it.
On
It wasn't the
Discord.
same episode.
Discord,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was over Discord on that one.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. So
Yeah, and he fucking undersold.
You did undersell.
Undersold. And I told him on the
And
episode
somebody
he undersold.
oversold.
oversold, way oversold.
But that's what he does.
Sipping on that Kool-Aid a little too much. Get a little
What
drunk
I
on your
can
own
say-
stuff
He's been
there.
putting a little vodka
What
in
I
that
can say
Kool-Aid.
is we don't know. They could turn off the Large Hadron Collider over in CERN. It could happen. Maybe they send us into a
You
black
just went
hole,
over everybody's
alternate
head.
reality.
You just went over everybody's head.
I know. But they could put us in an alternate reality and we still
You
win
could
the
probably go
national
one by one and none of them know
that
what that
probably
is.
won't happen though.
Except for maybe Preston. Oh, okay.
No, which one? The
CERN
large
Collider.
Large Hadron Collider.
You know what it
I
is.
think most ever.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the Large Hadron Collider in CERN?
CERN? No. CERN?
That was
You
back
too?
when I was on there.
Yeah.
Cole,
I was-
you
yeah.
produced that episode. You were here.
Turns out, Cole doesn't pay attention.
He does not pay
Yeah, I know.
attention to the episodes.
He'll find something out 2 weeks later and ask us about it, and we're like, we
literally talked about that 2 weeks ago.
No, that's bullshit.
We got to start recording everything ahead of time.
Every single time. I promise you it
I need a
happens.
notepad of every single conversation we've ever had, so then I can read it and then say what
What's
I
it
need
called?
to.
We need a courtroom.
Stenographer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I promise you, we need an archivist. And anybody in the chat, anybody that's a fan, you just tell us if it's true because it happens every week on Useless. Did we talk about that? Yes, we talked about this literally last week or 2 weeks ago. Hey, did you know this is happening?
Wait. Turns out we told you.
Try having a normal conversation with them.
We do love you,
sometimes.
Cole. We
Oh,
want
it's
you to
all
say-
love.
We love
And
you, Cole.
you're one to talk.
What'd you
Okay,
say?
there's times that you bring up we bring up stuff. You're like, wait, what? It's just in a normal conversation.
No, we love you. It's all good fun here in this whole group. Don't worry. It's we pass love back and forth. Anita, anything else? Anything else you want to say? Nothing.
Nope, I'm good.
You
Go
just
Canes.
showed up
Huskers suck. Go Canes.
Wait, you're a Miami
That's all he
fan?
showed up for. He only showed up to talk about the Hurricanes.
His,
That's all he did. I'm gonna drink a Bushy.
no, he doesn't.
Can we get? He's like, can we get to the election stuff already?
He would have not even cared about watching the Hurricanes just to talk shit about the Nebraskas.
I'm
Who invited
bamboozled
that
right
guy?
now.
Yeah, he wouldn't even say, he wasn't here to say the Miami's awesome. He was here to say Nebraska sucks.
Yeah, they all.
Like,
So they
even if Miami hadn't won a game yet, and he would come here to say Nebraska sucks.
they almost. We had a party here for the Ohio State game for Kai's birthday and kind of a housewarming thing. They almost came down to record a podcast, and I said, "Fuck no."
I think it would have been a great one. I think we would have had a fun time.
I shot it down.
I think
It was literally like, well, that was the afternoon game, wasn't it?
no, it was the night game. Well, I don't know. It felt night because we started.
It was getting dark.
We started at like 10 o'clock in the
Right?
morning.
It was getting dark, wasn't it, for the Miami game? Yeah, that's why. Because we started drinking at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
I was not gonna. No.
We could. Yeah, we're eventually one of these days. Press and I will sit down for an entire Husker game and an entire Miami game. I talk shit the whole time.
I told
One
them
of
if
these
they could
days.
find the key and get everything up and rolling, that they could do it. But I wasn't coming down to help.
Preston could have done it. He just didn't want to do it.
It's pretty easy to find. It's pretty easy to find. Anita,
Yes, sir.
you are the other kind of floater, we'll call you.
Yeah,
You haven't been on
floater.
Useless, though, so I guess you're just a touching base.
Just touching
But
base.
you have been a guest.
Yes, I was.
Guest and co-host.
Guest and co-host.
First co-host.
First
Oh,
co-host.
yes.
Not first
Yeah.
episode, but first recording.
Yes.
That was the very first recorded one.
She was the very first, like the issued one, like the one that went out. She would have been the first co-host of one that went out. The very first recorded episode was me and Chase.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
And then it was with Mr. Andrew McCarthy.
correct. So technically, she was on the third recorded episode.
Yeah. Yep.
Second.
Second.
Oh, right.
It was
second.
Second.
I thought
before Jose?
I thought you did Andrew first.
Did we? I can't. It's been too long ago.
You did.
I think you did Andrew first, and then you did Chase by yourself. And
Oh,
then-
was that what it was?
And then we did Jose's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was on. She was the very first episode.
Then you were the very first episode. There
Just
you go.
not the first one out to
Gotcha.
the people.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
That's what I thought too. Andrews, I can tell you, Andrews was the first episode out because we had to wait, and I'm pretty sure we had Chase's recorded and Jose's recorded before
okay. Sure.
Andrews.
I think you're right.
It doesn't matter.
It's a
Whatever.
year
It
ago.
was all good.
Turns out it's a year ago.
it was a year ago.
Well, it turns out I did all three within a couple day span.
We did.
it was
Fact
quick.
check this,
It was
or-
quick. And then we
I
sa-
definitely do know Andrew was the first.
Well, don't
episode,
look because I know Chase is
wasn't
number
the
3,
first
Jose's number 2, and Andrew's number 1. But I'm almost positive Chase was the first recorded episode.
Yes.
Okay, I know. I figured we said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was the third.
Yes.
Jose's was the third recorded.
Okay.
Second released.
Right.
Correct.
So you were the second.
Second.
Oh, first co-host.
First.
There we go. We took a long time to get here.
We got there.
Give me all rap.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
It was good though.
Yeah.
It was. I didn't need notes for Andrew McCarthy.
Well, which is
so
why we
that was
kind
good.
of had you come do it because
Yeah.
we knew you wouldn't need it.
Yeah. Good pass there from Big Red Days. So that was a lot of fun. Jay Belts was another one that I got to sit in on.
Yep, that was another good one.
I had learned a little bit of his story before that podcast, so that was pretty smooth walking into. But great guy, great story there. And then I believe Chase
Calkins.
Calkins
Yep,
was
that one
my other one.
Yep.
And that one, I had no idea what I was getting myself into
Yeah,
on
you were
that
deer
one,
in the
really.
headlights for a while.
I was like, I think I understand some of what he's saying, but this dude is so smart. And he,
That is one we should have totally held off for video, but I
Would've
needed somebody.
he had
And-
some super cool visuals and stuff that
Yeah.
helped tie some things together. But
We'll get him back on.
yeah,
And we'll
cel-
invite you for that one.
Okay, sounds good. We celebrated a benchmark when it was my podcast though. That was the 1,000th view, 2,000th view.
Yeah, we didn't do anything
Yeah.
after. We didn't do anything until 2,000 views, and then nothing since. We stopped looking at views at this point.
I put out
Yeah.
Yeah, he did
what
that.
about a month ago?
Yeah.
I did that right. Yeah, about a month ago.
It got at that time. It was easy. Or it wasn't views. It was listens because it was all
Listens,
podcast.
yeah.
It was all audio.
Yeah, it was easy. It was easy to find because it was all on one platform.
So we all had it.
and now I
there.
have to go through and add up
Yep.
4 shows.
You're more diversified now.
We're very diversified now. Yeah.
Yep. So
It's a little hard to track.
Yeah, and we took a shot on the podcast.
Yeah,
We
we
did.
did.
Started it.
No video,
No video.
but we took it on the podcast.
We did.
We told you guys we took it.
Yeah, we told you. Believe us.
Figure it out.
But,
I
Yeah,
think
it
everybody's
was good.
comfortable with the fact that we drink. And it was us 4 right here for that podcast. We know we took a shot.
I actually
It
got
happened.
asked after my episode. They're like, "Do you guys drink on there?" We could just hear the. Oh yes,
you
yes.
couldn't hear it
Yes,
in other
we
how
drink.
many episodes?
Yeah.
You
So-
you put yours up to the mic, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, when I do it, I crack it literally about 2 inches away.
So, all in all, how's your experience kind of been? Or, just seeing the whole thing?
I've loved it. Like I said, just kind of watching everything grow. I know, obviously, there's a lot of time spent going into like formulating all the questions and coming up with things to ask. I don't know I'd be so hot at that, but you make it seem pretty easy. No, I think it all just has kind of flowed well, and it's been super fun getting to be a part of it. When Vance wasn't available or whatever, I almost got pulled into producing one time, but then people saved the day. But
You would have been there over Mark, but Mark got back to me, and I just said we need to bring somebody in that kind of knows the equipment already, because I
Yeah.
would have had to give you like a full breakdown.
I know this part of the equipment, and that's about it. So, yeah, no, it's been fun. I don't know. Like I said, just kind of getting to know some of the people, and some of the people I already kind of knew, but you still learn new things as you go, and I don't know. It's been a cool experience. So thanks for letting me be a part of it here and there.
100%. We should have brought you on a few times for Useless on some of the women's issues, but I didn't know how you'd feel doing that. So
I'd have no issue with it. I know Vance and I may not agree on some of it, but that's okay.
get after it
That's
then.
part
Let's
of
go.
it.
Let's
she,
Let's
she was
go.
one of the ones that asked if we were going to a women's game yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't ask, are you going to a women's game? I just said men's, right?
You said men's or women's, and I said, "Well, I'm
Well, the
going."
tickets
with
are
Well,
for
let's
Vance.
see. It's Vance. So
She knew the answer right there.
men's.
I mean, we all have to say what it is. I mean, we all know I'm an equal opportunity employer here.
Can you at
I will
least
do anything, but probably going to go to a men's game, not a women's game.
Can you at least admit though the women's volleyball at Memorial Stadium was rather badass?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that a yes or a
That was
eh?
That was a man.
Jesus.
We
You
talked
can't
about it on
chalk
the podcast, and
anything
he's still
up.
mad then. He's like,
I was like, it's. I
Whatever.
mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. It means
It was pretty- it was pretty
doesn't register on my scale. Like it just
he wasn't jumping out to go get tickets. Let's put it that way.
zero chance. Literally zero chance.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Off podcast, would he say it was cool after about 10 beers? 100%.
I don't know. I'm not fully convinced
Still
on
gonna
that.
say meh.
Meh. Yep.
Maybe, but
Were you nervous for your first time coming on? Or was it because it was Andrew, you were good?
A little bit of both. I was nervous in the aspect of like I wasn't fully, because it was the first time there was like a co-interviewer with you or whatever. I was just like, I don't know if I'm just supposed to fill in awkward gaps. I don't know if I'm actually really supposed to talk. Like,
You found out pretty quick I don't leave awkward gaps.
yeah, no.
So you kind of have to speak up.
So I wasn't fully sure of how much to talk at that point in time. And then Vance was on there and talked all the time. So then I'm like, well, okay, now I kind of know. But
it must have
I
been a
can't-
weird time for me because generally I don't talk very much. It's just an awkward episode.
Unless I need him to. And then
Right.
he's freaking crickets.
right,
100%.
Well, it happens. I mean, if you're going to talk about some weird shit, I'm probably not going to talk about it. If it's going to get me
Yeah.
in trouble,
There's been times where I just I couldn't. I was fumbling on a question.
I know.
And
You
then
look
he
at me
just-
like,
I
dude,
look at him,
I'm
he's
not
like-
going to do it for you, buddy.
He gave me that. I'm like, this is
What?
I'm like, this is why you're here.
I'm curious on what registers the trouble.
He can get in
Bar.
trouble on touching base. There's a clear
There's a
difference between the two
touching base
podcasts.
and useless.
Well, yes.
I mean, you can tell Vance is not a different person.
Well,
He has a filter on touching base.
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to make a guest feel dumb.
right. Otherwise, we won't have people back. Okay,
Oh
okay.
my God.
Not feel dumb. He doesn't want to attack. He doesn't want to
I
attack a
don't
guest.
think my eyes could have rolled any farther back
Can we
in my
clip
head
that?
just
Can
now.
we clip that for something there?
We won't be clipping that
Oh,
one.
dang.
I just I reiterated it. He meant attack. He doesn't want to attack a guest.
This is true. That's what I meant to say.
That's what he meant to say.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean,
No.
has it been a good time? Have you had fun?
It's been a
Do you want
great
to come
time.
back on? Have we scared you away?
No, I'm not.
Good.
Obviously, I'm still here, so
Right.
I'm not scared. I don't get scared.
Don't get scared.
I don't get scared.
Anything
Never
else?
scared.
Never scared.
Anything else you want to talk about the podcast or about all the podcasts in general? We'll be getting to the other shows in a little bit. And everybody can give
Yeah.
input at that point, but
No, just keep on keeping on. I think you guys are doing great things, and like I said, I'm excited to see it grow. I try to share when I can, but
you're an avid listener, though.
I try.
Avid listener, avid chatter on
Avid chatter. Yep.
on Useless for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Keep the chat going every once in a while.
Sometimes
We
they're probably
appreciate
like, God, who is this Anita girl, and why doesn't she shut up?
Yeah, sometimes we got to send Cole away from producing just to keep the chat going.
Yep. Yeah. So no, it's been blast. So
Good.
cheers to many more years, fellas.
Cheers.
You're here.
Yes.
All right, Cam. Let's tell your story. You got a long story to talk about for your beginning
Got
of this
about
whole
an hour
thing?
left, I think. So
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm just asking if you have a long-winded
I think so.
explanation,
No,
so I can go
probably
to
not.
use the bathroom.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to? Do we want?
I
to
would
do
love
this?
for you to have a long-winded
I can do
explanation of
this.
how
All
you
right,
started
so
this podcast.
it was pretty cool. I'll never forget. So Abe Shainer's episode, I was like, I'm gonna listen to this. I used to listen to Abe. I'm a pretty avid podcast listener. I just drive around my tool truck all day and listen to podcasts. And I was like, I'm gonna listen to this. I listened to it. And I was like, dang, this is pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. So I messaged Zach and I was like, hey man, I don't know if you're getting a ton of feedback. I really like this. You're doing good things. And he's like, oh, cool. You know, hopefully I'd have you on someday. And I thought that was completely insane. Why? And then the day came and I was nervous. Like the whole day, I'm like, oh, man, 6 hours till podcast, 5 hours till podcast. I came on. We went into the dungeon at the office there and did it. And it got a lot easier. I don't know if you remember Advance. That was a lot. At first, I was pretty nervous.
You started extremely nervous, kind of like Sam did.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
feel. I had the same feeling with you guys, but everybody was kind of nervous in those old
Yeah.
days back in that. I mean,
You're
we
so
come in
crammed.
here, it's
Yeah.
a little more comfortable. You're spread out.
Yeah.
But we were literally around a little, like a office desk. We're right there.
Yeah, like 2 feet away.
This
Yeah.
is we're this far apart right here.
You
Three
sat
of us.
real
Yeah.
close.
Right
together.
Yeah.
here is kind of basically how
Almost
we
touching.
how we did it. And
Vance was touching.
yeah, we completely did that, and you definitely warmed up as we went, and
It was a good time.
Great.
Like I remember getting done with the episode, and I was like really confident with everything, and it took off. And I remember going to Justin's baby shower that weekend. I was like, dude, I was on a podcast this week. Like me and him had talked about it. Like we just need to do this. We need to pull the trigger. Let's come up with some stuff. I'm pretty anxious for it. And I want to say, I think within another week or two was my first Useless episode, maybe. And then I felt a lot more confident about doing a podcast. I think the next week I was on again. I was like, hey, I think I want to do this. And we bought some equipment, and it took us a little bit to get some recording in, but I recorded the first episode. I think I listened to it like 4 times, and I was like, I think this is good enough to come out. And it's just kind of taken off from there.
I forgot you were the first one to fill in for me. You filled in for me when I was in Denver, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
that was
very
at the
first-
off. It was here.
Yeah.
You
It was,
guys were here when
Yeah.
I was in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were the first person to fill in.
because I was on back-to-back weeks, too.
Yeah, you were, and that was when we were still recording
Yep.
upstairs. And then because that's what you asked me. I remember you asking me,
Hey, where
here.
are we at? Yeah. Because I knew we were getting closer on the podcast studio. I mean, we had a while to go
Oh
yet,
yeah,
but
we still
that was a month or two, month and a half.
something like that. But yeah, you asked right away, and you're like, hey, I kind of want to do this, and And you kind of, I'm trying to remember, you kind of asked to just kind of be
I just wanted to
on
make sure it was cool. Like, hey, I kind of want to do this. And you embraced it. You're like, yes, I want to do this. I want to put you under the umbrella and then kind of show you the ropes. And it's, I mean, without you, we would have never probably got it going.
Yeah.
You know, there was just so many little behind the scenes things that you don't think about when it comes to producing a podcast.
Well, turns out I was researching it for about 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't get that far.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just bought some equipment and hooked it up to my computer, and we figured out how to do it on Discord because Justin, that's why he's not here tonight. He lives in Howell, so we do it over Discord. We just have webcams and go back and forth, and yeah, made it a lot easier that way.
Are you going to do video soon?
We are hoping to. I'm about to move my computer system and everything. I think I've got a good location for it. My video is the next big thing I want to do. I want to do some after the races podcast. I think that'd be really fun to just have some people come in. We really had big plans over in Boone, Iowa for the big Super Nationals race. Turns out I was a lot busier racing that week than having to worry about setting up a podcast or anything. So, but it's good to have hopes and dreams, I suppose, and admirations on that
So
kind of
like
stuff.
a new racing trailer, you're saying with you're gonna make a studio inside your racing trailer?
That would be fancy, but I think I can just bring everything on a fold up table. So, yeah, I had everything there. Like I was ready, but the point where I thought we could record, we were all too drunk, and I was like, "This isn't going to be as good as anybody thinks."
That's a good time.
Yeah, everybody thought this was going to be a great idea, and I was like, "No, guys, this is going to be bad content." Like, no, everybody was slurring. Like,
You should have still done it.
I
Just
kind
to
of wish
have
we
it.
would have, just so we had it. But I know exactly what I need to do for
There are
next
plenty
time.
of nights that we're doing stuff here. I want to turn the mics on.
Oh, I'm sure.
But,
Yeah. No, I think I want to bring on a second co-host. We have 3 of us. I think that'd be really fun. Obviously, racing season's winding down for me. NASCAR's about over. We get a few Formula One races left, so there's a little bit of content. I want to interview some people over the wintertime. I'm pretty excited for that. I've got things I want to do. It's just finding the time. I've been so busy here lately. So,
While I was in the bathroom, did you talk about reaching out as a fan?
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Listen to Abe Shaner's
Just
episode
wanna
and
make sure,
everything.
yeah, okay.
I'll still never. I remember when you're like, "Oh, I want to have you on as a guest." That's kind of what
Yeah,
I brought
because
up. and I
you
was
were
like,
already on the list.
Yeah.
And then you reached out to me and said how much you liked it. And I
Yeah.
was like, well, that's awesome.
yeah.
There's been a few people like that have reached out. We've got a lot of people that reach out to us and tell us we're doing a good job and things like that.
always
and
makes
you
you feel
guys too.
That's what I like. You know, that's the crazy part. Like people come up to me at the races. And, I did it. If you're listening, come grab a free shirt from the races. And I can't believe how many random people came up and they're like, "Oh, hey, I listen to your podcast." And I was like, "Really?" Like it just every week I see the views and I was like, "Well, I still can't believe some days that people just listen to me and Justin just yabber on sometimes."
You guys had a good start. Mm-hmm. Whereas like our first useless episode, I think had like 2 listens.
I think it was like 2 minus the 10 of our family.
Yeah. So minus our family.
Yeah.
I think we were like
We
10,
had like
12,
3
13, 14.
something
I
like
don't
that. And I think you had like 25 out of the gate.
Yeah. That was the first episode I remember was like, "Oh my God," like it kind of took off right away. But and it's
And
just
now
crazy.
we get mad if there's only 25. It's
I
like,
know. I'm like, God, what did we do wrong this week?
Right. Right.
But it's funny now that racing season over, I get more listens when I recap my racing. So we had a few weeks where we didn't race, and then we went back and recapped, and it was just like, oh, this is way more listens. So it's
on
pretty,
the recap side.
yeah. So people listen to that. It's fun for me to talk about. I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I do to go down and try and break everything down and go in week
That's
out.
what you know, though.
Yeah, it's fun to me to talk about.
Yeah.
It's just nice to sit down for an hour and a half every week and talk racing.
Have you told? We've been telling people, but have you told everybody yet? While I was in the bathroom, anything that you're doing every other week now?
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't say that. So every other week now, and we will do some guests. We'll have. I've got some racers lined up that I'm going to reach out to. I just need to kind of get settled in with the new podcast studio I've got, and like I said, we'll get a camera, get some video. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that's good.
Is it unnerving a little bit now that race season's over and it's getting slower down? Like trying to figure out like, what do I got to do? How do I?
No,
kinda
I'm
like
actually-
these guys do. Like we got to look into the.
It is
future.
that part is tougher. Yes, because now it's like, oh man, we're running out of some, because fishing's over too.
Yeah.
Me and the kids aren't doing as much outside.
He doesn't ice fish.
He does, but it's not cold enough for that yet. So we're gonna get there. Maybe we'll do some video. I have a GoPro.
Are
now.
you gonna go ice fish?
I have to.
Do
I
you
think.
ice fish?
No, I've never. I haven't been fishing.
That
in
sounds like a
20 years.
miserable time.
Yeah, I'll probably still have to
I'm
wear
not
shorts.
the guy that's gonna go ice fish. Still gonna wear
still gonna have to wear
shorts.
my shorts. No, I have to go at some point in time. So I think I've said that multiple times on the podcast. I've had people come up to me. They're like, "Are you really gonna go?" Like, I know I don't go fishing normally, so it'll be a good time. Have to go buy a pair of pants though. It's gonna be the only bad part.
You don't own a pair of pants?
Maybe one or no. I'm joking. I have pants.
I knew you did. Yeah. You're kind of like me. We kind of wear shorts all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's always hot.
Even dead of winter. Mm-hmm. I turned the house down to 65 degrees tonight, so just to
Where
get,
mine's
just
at
to
all the
get through
time.
this podcast.
It's a good day.
Yeah.
I mean, our house doesn't have heat running. So.
Well, our house doesn't either. It's air. We got the air running. We haven't turned the heat on yet. It'll be air until Kai can't handle it anymore.
It's always nice.
Yeah. Anything else
No.
on the Talking Dirt side?
No, I want to appreciate, like, thank you guys for letting me come under the umbrella and embracing it. And some of the guidance. I've asked you on some questions on some things.
We have zero guidance. It's all just throwing darts at a wall.
Well, it's better than nothing. I appreciate it. So
A lot of times, Zach and I's conversations about guidance, if we talk to each other, like, what should we do? Is like, just try it and see what's the worst that's going to happen. Like,
Obviously, I had obviously some ideas of how things were supposed to go, but we've obviously veered from that. And then I've told you those things too of like, hey, this was what I had researched, but it did not work the way I wanted it to. So I guess.
Oh yeah, you always have to listen on the on the fly and everything. There's always that stuff. But no, I have a blast doing this. This is a good time.
It is a lot of fun, isn't it?
I have so much fun with it, and it's just nice because just even right now to just come down here, record like this, get away from the real world for a little bit, and just
You can't
like,
look at your phone. You can't. We're not watching
I'm on the
TV.
computer though when I'm doing my
Well, I
episodes,
suppose.
so I'm doing some browsing sometimes.
Yeah.
So looking
Is that
up
when
other
you get
videos and stuff
sidetracked?
like there's sometimes I do get sidetracked.
Guilty
I will
of that.
say we do have the spinning winner wheel coming up on our thing. Can't have many weeks left in that, and we have not come up with a loser option for that one.
You haven't yet?
No one's really came up with anything good. Everybody's like, oh, you got to chug a beer or something. No one's come up with anything
Everybody
fun.
start thinking right now before the end of this episode.
Like, what would
we're
the
gonna
loser
get
have
them
to do?
What they have to do. Just hold on.
Oh, what do you
Just
got?
Hold that thought. You want to go ahead? Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
You can get a clown shirt like us. I'm just saying.
That would be a good time. Is it an actual clown? I have not seen said
Yeah,
clown
it's a
shirt.
full clown
So I only
shirt.
listen to the audio. I never watch video on you guys.
Because
I'm
we're
sorry.
getting into ice fishing, it should be a cold plunge.
I would have no problem with that. I take ice cold showers. Wouldn't bug me a bit. That's the problem.
You have to take a steaming hot shower.
Well, I can do that too, and that's not going to bug me. That's not going to bug me.
you have to get a back massage.
By a
It's going to
dude.
be so bad.
Ah, dang. Mac massages. Oh, no.
Please don't give me the loser.
I'm just trying to think of what would be tied to your guys'.
So maybe Justin would have to wear a Case International shirt to work one day, and I would have to wear a Snap-on shirt. Be
Someone
pretty
have
bad.
to buy a goat.
Maybe we can go to the dad life thing, and whoever loses has to watch the other's kids so they can go out for a night of.
I don't think Justin's wife would let me watch their kid.
Oh,
Not that I'm that bad, but
that's out of it.
I don't think Justin could deal with twins
Probably not.
because he's only dealt with a baby.
Yeah, and he's not here to defend himself.
He's not here to defend himself.
Okay.
We'll come up with something good.
We'll find
There's
something.
something. We'll come up with something fun.
Yeah.
Maybe the loser has to go on and do the hot wing challenge with the TNT boys. We'll do a crossover episode.
Could do that.
Ooh,
We're
I mean, I
debating.
like hot stuff, but
We're debating
I'm
on
not
doing might be a full crossover thing.
maybe that's what we'll do. Yep,
Signed, sealed.
me and Caleb talked crossover.
Oh.
But maybe that's what we'll do.
Okay. There you go.
I'll be down with that. Signed, sealed, and delivered. I'm cool with
I
that.
kind of like that idea actually. Maybe we'll do that.
There you go.
Make
Then you
Justin-
have to do like something different than just a challenge. You got to do like eat the hottest sauce fully on the
Yeah.
wing or something, not just dipping it.
Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. We'll get Justin up here for an episode.
Yeah. Get anal bleeding. You know, that's fine.
I will fully eat the wing. I am not kidding you. I like wings, so.
Well, we know you do.
What are you trying to say, Zach?
So
You said it earlier that you like food. He's only speaking what you already said.
I know.
okay, so
I mean, I like food too.
moving on to touching base. I don't really want to talk about these a whole lot in general. If you guys want to say anything, that's fine. We can kind of talk about how it started and things like that.
If you want to ask questions about it,
Yeah, so if you guys want to ask
because we
questions
kind of
about
did an episode of touching base.
yeah, so I don't want to like
touching base.
reiterate anything, but
And some of you guys weren't there for that episode, so
Right.
if you had questions on it,
but I'll do a quick synopsis of how it started. It was going to be Useless. It was going to be the show that Vance and I were going to do together. And then I had the idea for the touching base, and I was originally going to do it on my own. And Vance got a little bit of you can
A little FOMO,
yeah, he got a little FOMO.
which I didn't know what FOMO was until after I did.
Oh yeah, I remember
base.
that episode. Yeah.
Yeah, so he learned about
Never
FOMO.
had any. People were. Jose was talking about FOMO. I had no idea what FOMO was. No clue. I had to look it up and figure out what FOMO was.
What is it?
Fear of missing out. Never heard of it before, and now I hear it all the time. Mostly because I hear people say FOMO, and I just think they don't know how to speak. That must have been what it was. This guy's saying some weird thing. I don't know what this is.
This guy's had a seizure.
What is FOMO? Now I hear FOMO all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that's kind of how that went down, and then it's obviously turned into that's one show that is probably from the origins of it to where it is now has evolved the most. I think I don't want to speak on the other shows, but of all the shows, maybe besides your guys, because you guys have kind of done a pretty good evolution, but still kind of the same topic type of stuff. But we had no intentions of doing any of this candidate stuff.
No.
It's crazy where that went. I loved it.
I don't even
It was
know.
awesome.
Have we talked about how that kind of came about?
I don't believe we went over that in the recap episode.
So I think you wanted. I don't even remember how.
I think you
on the mayor side, and I wanted Gene. I had.
I think
a
you had
connection with
Gene. You had mentioned Gene.
And that's kind of where it went. And it was one of these things we had the conversation together. We said we're not going to do one. Like if we're going to do candidates, we're doing everybody, or at least giving everybody the opportunity.
Well, we're trying, us two professionals over here are trying to be professional. And we're like, well, we want to actually, if we're going to be a media group, we're going to try to do it the correct way, not be
fair.
biased, fair, and everything. So we're like,
We'll
okay.
have our biases on our use list.
That's kind of how we did it. It was like, which is nice of having the two shows, is that we can do the touching base, stay unbiased for the most part, except for the federal side, and then Useless we can go out in on anybody, type of thing. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
And that's kind of where it started. And I think you're right. I think I did say something about I had that in with Gene. I was like, hey, let's try to. I think I can get this going. And then we talked about like, well, if we're gonna do one, we're gonna do it all. Then Melissa reached out to us, but I think when Melissa had reached out to us, we were already because I brought it up early in the process.
We were already doing the candidate stuff.
And then once
you hadn't even scheduled Gene yet.
Correct. Yeah. And once we were early in that process, you're just, all right, let's do it. And you had to end with the Norfolk people.
Yep.
Like I can probably get a bunch of the city council. I can get the mayors and that type of stuff. I said, that's great if we're going to get them. And we reached out to every single person in all those races, just so
We've
everybody's
said that
clear.
100 times, and I'll keep reiterating it because we get
not gonna,
asked.
if people say, why didn't you have this person on? They were asked, signed and delivered, asked, and it didn't. It didn't
only
come
thing
through
we
for whatever reason, so whatever.
Didn't ask was the school board, but none of them are on.
Yeah. Yeah. If anybody was on that was running for a position, those other people were also asked. So
Correct.
Just let everybody put that out there. And yeah, and it got to that point, and especially on the city side, we wanted everybody to have the same exact questions. At least on the ones you were going to ask.
Yep.
And then mine just flowed off a basic conversation. And that's kind of how mine on our touching base episodes just work that way.
Yeah.
Anything I ask is not anything that we've scripted or talked about or.
What I loved was they were prepared for their episodes. They came in with notes. Like Shane came in with notes. I think Melissa came in with notes. Like they were like prepared, excited to be on, I believe.
Most of them did.
Yeah.
For the most part, even our last one with Eric Stinson.
Yeah. Yeah, he brought a
in
bunch
with
of notes
notes.
that we didn't even. He's like, you didn't even ask me about these.
that means that we did our job though, because we didn't. That tells you that we didn't tell them what we were going to talk about. Like Shane brought a binder.
Yeah. It was big. Melissa had a ton of notes too. I sat
Yep.
and produced that episode.
Yep.
Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah. And when we prepared those questions, we took a lot of time on it.
Zach complains about it all the time.
I wasn't
I
going
don't
to
think
complain
it was
this
that
time.
big a deal.
I wasn't going to complain this time. We did take.
You were waiting for it.
What I was trying to say.
We did
is-
spend a lot of time.
Is that we did take the time to make sure that they were good quality
Yeah.
questions. I wasn't going to put you under the bus this time, but you just did it yourself.
I did it myself. But we took it seriously.
Yes.
Like we didn't have. willy-nilly these questions.
No.
We wanted to ask questions that we were hoping that our listeners wanted to know, and even not
Again,
our
we're trying to be
listeners-
legitimate.
Yeah.
A legitimate news source.
We didn't want softballs. We wanted enough questions. I say this all the time. I know it sounds harsh when I say it sometimes, but I'll say we don't attack anybody on touching base. We allow them to bury themselves. And that's not a mean way to say that. I don't think. I think it sounds harsh, but it's not. The way I look at it is, if you're genuine, you'll never bury yourself. If you're not genuine, people are going to understand. And that's kind of the way we looked at it, especially on the candidate side. Like, when we ask these questions, they're fairly open-ended, fairly pointed, but people are on a 2-hour episode are going to know if you're being real or lying or whatever you're doing.
Because some of them reiterate back to some of the original questions. So if you change your answer later on in the episode, people are going to figure it out. That's what he means by burying themselves, right? So, but all in all, outside of the candidate series is obviously our most popular portion so far. We have had some one-offs that were very popular as well. All in all, the touching base is fairly popular, at least in the local area. We got some really cool stuff planned already, but I'm not going to give any of that away. Nobody even knows some of the stuff that are sitting here. But as far as some of the episodes, like Sam's was a good one. He was an early one. Do you want to speak on that? I know you kind of talked about it a little bit, but do you want to speak on your experience on touching base?
Yeah, kind of like Vance has said, I was kind of nervous at first. It was my first time doing anything like that, but it was cool. It was just good to talk about, what I do. And you originally asked me when I was actually in Oregon for powerlifting worlds. So that was cool. I think it was right after the competition. I was like, dude, Zach just messaged me to be on his podcast. So I thought that was cool to just go on there and talk about what I do and what I've done, and get that out there. And I've actually gotten a couple new clients from it too. So Will Kuchera, someone who's kind of reached out and
He's
said,
watching.
yeah. So but yeah, I enjoyed it for sure, and I definitely feel like I've improved in talking on while recording. So
it's one of those situations when thinking of you, was it sometimes you forget like how cool and what your friends actually do.
Yeah.
Like you could be like, we'd been friends for a long time. And like this guy actually does some pretty cool shit.
Yeah.
So like, you just kind of forget about your friends in that way sometimes. Like just like when we brought you on, kind of forgetting all you've been through too.
It's going to be interesting when he kind of starts with, I'm probably going to make you cry. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, let's do this. So, yeah. But then.
And lo and behold,
you didn't
cried.
even need any Kleenexes.
You still cried.
I still cried. I just didn't need the Kleenexes.
There wasn't video.
Yeah, there wasn't video. You were fine. Nobody saw your mascara
She
running.
didn't need Kleenexes.
Yeah. And she's.
Oh, they're a ball
You're
of
good.
mess.
No, that was a good episode.
That's where we learned.
That I have a ghost.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you manifest different things, I think, and it kind of came through.
Manifested something.
I know, something.
Tell that story.
Lights blinked.
Lights
So-
went out.
Oh yeah,
They didn't blink,
It did
they
totally
went
go
out.
out. Yeah, yeah. So when my really good cousin AJ had passed away, his brother went to a medium, and she said basically that the deceased
The lights go out
sometimes
again, I'm gonna lose my
manifest
shit.
themselves in different ways, like some are in butterflies, some are like a cardinal, whatever. But AJ would be through electronics, and like very, very shortly after I said that,
It was almost instantly.
yeah, a light went out. So it was crazy. It was crazy.
They've been flickering the whole time. Don't worry.
I noticed that just now. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's like they've been doing it the whole time. I don't know why they do it. They just do.
That's a lie. It hasn't been flickering the whole time.
It's true. It has been. You kind of talked about your time on touching base, but kind of give your What are your thoughts on touching base itself?
I loved it. I latched on instantly, just to hear different like business owners, entrepreneurs. We talked about Bryce's episode a little bit. That was amazing. Probably one of my favorite episodes, truthfully. Like I said, I liked Abe's the first time he was on. Jose's is probably top 3 for me, though. I really enjoyed that one. Latched on, got healthy after that one. I've lost like 40 pounds since last year at this time. So feel pretty good about that. It was fun to be like the first like avid listener. You guys I know really enjoyed it. To come on to Touching Base and talk that out and enjoyed it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I look forward to every Thursday at 9 a.m. It's always a good time.
All of them?
All of them.
Have any of them disappointed you?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's been a couple
You can
quick
be
ones.
honest.
No, I don't think anyone. I don't think I've ever been like, oh, that wasn't a very good one. Because you're always learning something new. Because every guest brings something different to the table.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, good.
No, I don't think any episode I've been like, that wasn't the best episode of the good. I haven't listened to our episode. That's probably the only one I really haven't even attempted to listen to.
You never did listen to it?
No. I generally don't listen
You
to
never
my own.
listen to your own?
No. Every now and then I'll listen to mine.
Who else does that? Who else doesn't listen to their
Yeah,
own?
you never listen at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've turned them on so that the listen happens.
Yeah.
I've never once listened to one of my own.
I
Oh, no, I
probably-
listened to the very first one.
Yeah.
I did listen to the very first
I probably listen to 5 of my own episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Preston, you have any thoughts on Touching Base at all? I don't know how much you've listened to that show, but
Yeah, I mean, I try to listen to it whenever I can. Obviously, I work from home now, so I can basically listen to podcasts. I wouldn't say a junkie, but I listen a lot more in the last year and a half than I have in the past 10 years, I would say. But yeah, no, it was fun being on it. I mean, I already had previous experience being with you guys on Useless and stuff like that, so...
different experience, though, a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, just talking into the mic, just being in the atmosphere, stuff like that played a big portion of it.
Yeah.
Coming in, because then you're not
because
as
a lot of people
not as
get
nervous
that
or whatever.
mic and they're afraid of the mic.
right.
Well,
Yep.
you've been in front of mics, like streaming and stuff, so I mean...
Yeah, but it's always, I don't know, for some reason this is like
This still rattles you a little bit?
this is like different than like
Really?
getting on and just having a headset and just playing games with people and just talking smack and whatever else.
So I didn't really
yelling at
see
the TV.
a difference
So-
when I,
Yeah.
came from streaming to doing this. I didn't really see it
Yeah,
as a different
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just the topics, I guess, on that time. I
Because
guess
you actually
I
have to
don't know.
give your opinion on this one?
Because you have to give the opinion on it, and then it's stuff that you may know a little bit, and then there's some other stuff that you don't know at all. So you got to research, and you're like, well, I hope I researched the right
Vance and I don't know
side
shit.
of
I don't
everything.
know.
And it's just like, well, whatever. It is what it is. So
Turns out you don't have to research. Just give your useless opinion on it.
yeah.
That's not useless assumption on it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it's good. It's good stuff overall. Pretty excited to see what you guys have for up and coming episodes and everything like that, and see the new guests and stuff. So
Awesome. What's been your favorite episode? I don't mean to put you on the spot. If you don't have one, it's fine. You got 3 of them sitting in the room.
I know it's hard. It's
You
hard
could
to
just
pick
pick one of
one
them and
because
make it
there's like,
easy.
I mean, we got probably like what? You probably got
4 of them sitting in the room.
4 of them, sorry. My bad.
4.5.
4 and a
probably
half,
got,
yeah.
probably got 5. 5.
Well, we got 5. Yeah, well, you can pick your own.
5
You
and a
can
half.
you can pick your own if you want.
But yeah, I'm just gonna start with mine. No, no. I think all of them are pretty good. Like what Cam's saying. I don't think there's one that I started watching and all of a sudden was just wasn't very good. Like I think all of them.
You didn't think
I've
any of them were like
actually
blah
sat-
or drug on or
No, I mean I've sat down and watched. I mean the ones that I have watched. I mean, granted I haven't watched all of them, but I mean if I start it, like I finish it. Like I
did
don't.
you listen to Chase Calkins?
Yep.
You did? And that never I just really feel like that's the one
That would have been
kinda-
probably would have been a better one with video.
yeah. Yeah.
Because like I
Not that it
could
was
hear you
bad
guys
because of
talking
the
and
content.
looking at like diagrams that you brought,
Yeah.
and I'm just like,
Every time we do that.
I think I know what he's talking about. I can see this start sitting over here and it goes over here, connecting the dots, and yeah, I know the calculations in my head. Yeah, it's
Kind of
all-
like when Vance and I looked at the basketball courts on
Yeah,
Useless
that's-
without video.
yeah.
I literally was listening to that Chase episode, the same thing. That's what's going through my mind. It's like, so this is what it's like when we do what we do. Because I wasn't there for the Chase one. I listened to that one. I was like, man, I wish I could see these.
Check
I
out
wish
this-
I could see these.
Check out the
charts.
Pelicans' new court for the tournament. It's whatever. Yeah, look at it.
I remember Googling stuff on your guys' episode at time. I'm like, all right, let's look this up.
Good. We made people work.
Because we did videos and stuff back then.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. We played.
Look what we came from on Useless.
100%.
Came to this.
Yeah. Started off shit, and now we're
People,
Big
these
time.
people still listen to us.
they're right.
I
I'm
don't
surprised
understand why you people
We
listen
still
to
have
us. Makes
listeners
no sense.
after the basketball court episode. To be honest with you,
Why did you guys not just say you guys are trash? Like, this is stupid.
Kale, what are your thoughts on touching base? I know you've listened to a few of them.
I think it's pretty good for the community itself. It gets people and their stories out there, like the Bryce one, for being what he went through. And, for Sean King, we've had him as a coach through high school at Little Point. Used to be his coworker, too. And so
Forgot about that episode, to be honest with you.
learning about him and, him being a Hall of Famer and everything in the arena football.
Some of the stories that man had,
Yeah.
even after, like, we got to bring him back on because we didn't even get to.
That was one of my biggest regrets of not being there for that episode.
Well, we talked about
I
having
loved
him on
listening to
too
it, too.
before you did it, and like you did, I'm like, all right, that's cool too. we would like to have him on too, So
Go for it. What's crazy about that episode is I started that 15 minutes by myself, completely by myself, and this has been. We hadn't done that in a long time, and I was kind of nerve wracked because usually I at least have a producer or a a co-host here. That was one that I had done. I literally first 15 minutes were all me, producing and doing. That was nerve wracking, but good episode.
Yeah, he like I said, learning stuff about him would be good. The Nebraska part where he almost got recruited by Nebraska,
100%.
that was wild to me. Like we could have had someone who's pretty good at receiver like him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If he just would have elaborated a little bit more, we could have gone into some of that stuff.
Yeah,
And I think he wanted to, so you guys could take him on and probably extend that interview because I didn't know half of that. I only went with what I could find on the internet and what I already knew about him. But
and then I had another episode on the top of my head. I just can't remember what it was now because my memory is shit.
what was it about? Pretty easy to figure out because they've all been pretty different, except for the candidate stuff.
It was pretty early. It was pretty early, so.
Okay, so Sam Moore's.
Oh yeah, Sam's is good. Yeah, Sam's is pretty good.
Jose.
I didn't get a chance to listen
Abe.
to that one yet. Kinda off
Trying to
and
think
on.
it really.
Sometimes I don't get a lot of time to listen to podcasts before until I start doing mine. So it's like now I'm
You're
getting.
good.
Into
You don't
it
have to.
more.
We're kind of putting you on the spot, so it's okay. Ryan, what about you? Touching base. You were in on a few of those.
I think Jose's was probably one of my favorites. I mean, Bryce's too. I mean, he's family, so
That one's got to hit
kinda-
home for you, right?
Yeah, I learned a lot, even though I knew most of it, but there's big chunks there that even I learned something from him.
He was very open too. I was appreciative
Yeah,
of that. That was our first kind of like deep dive.
Yeah, and I kind of enjoyed his stance on politics in general. I don't know if you remember that or not. But,
Yeah.
the candidates ones, those ones stand out a lot to me because, like I said, I like learning about people's policies and different things like that. I don't really care for politics, but once you guys got me into it, I was like, all right, I'm all in. I want to
It's
hear
not too
what you
bad
have
once
to
you get
say.
your feet wet.
Yeah. Yeah. But God, what was the candidate? He was here right after his dad died.
Oh, Justin
Snorton.
His was probably one of my favorites.
Literally,
honestly. It, like
The next
just
day
happened.
or 2 days.
it had just happened. Justin came in. He's like, "So guys," like he kind of just told the whole story, and I'm like, "Why are you here? How are you here?"
Yeah.
Like just lost his dad and came in and did a whole interview and did a great job.
Yeah.
Good shout out for that one.
Yep. But that one definitely
Kind of
stood
tells
out
you
to
what
me.
type of person that is too.
Yeah.
That's a good person.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, that one's probably one of my top favorites out of all of them.
Nice. Yoshi, you were on. You had your own episode,
Yes, sir.
kind of a fill in. You were on the list, but it was a
It was the last resort.
you got
type of
moved
thing.
up.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like we have nobody else. Let's call somebody. Let's
Yeah.
get some.
Yeah.
Let's get one of these pole monkeys in here.
Go on.
But no, it was a fun time. I don't know, it's either the highlights were the tentacle porn snippet, or the long pause where I had of supposedly unaliving myself.
Yeah.
Or,
I don't plan on living.
I don't plan on living. A little bit too long of a pause, and then the extensive conversation about getting drunk and playing Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So no, it was a fun time. I would
None
definitely.
of the lineman stuff. You just stuck on just the small portion of the show of that part.
Yep. Well,
All video games that video games and hentai.
Yeah,
I was
hentai.
like, this is
You brought up
nothing.
the tentacle porn. I brought up the hentai.
No, I said tentacle porn. Somebody said hentai.
I said hentai.
That brought the tentacle porn.
Because he said, I watched a little anime and like hentai.
When you guys talked about One Piece for a little bit, I started laughing because like I know a lot about One Piece, and like, yeah, there's like these episodes of this. I'm like, no.
I mean, like all the line stuff. I mean, it was 3 years. Been doing line work for 3 years now, and I mean, it's kind of hard to explain to some people what you do for a living, and line work kind of can be extensive, and some people think I just fix light switches or light bulbs. Or they want to call me up for the dumbest things, but it's a good career, and I enjoyed it being on the podcast because I reached out to you too and said that I love what you do. I'd love to be part of this. I want to be on an episode, and you told me you had me on a list, and
Yeah.
so I was excited that I got the opportunity to come up and kind of talk about my career and some of my interests I like and all that stuff. So I had a great time on it, and I'm kind of waiting for the time that I can be behind the mic and one of my friends will be doing the podcast, so then I can ask the dumb questions that everyone else seems to ask me. So I'm waiting for my opportunity for one of my friends to be on here.
Turns out we can make that happen.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm just waiting for my opportunity to do that, ask the dumb questions.
Okay. As a whole,
Is that a shot at Cole?
ooh,
Ooh.
you were looking at him when you said it.
I was looking at him when I said it. He's the biggest shit talker out of all the friend group. So
Can confirm.
Outside of your episode, I don't know how much you listen to other ones. Is there been another one that was really good for you, or do you like the whole touching base as a whole? Or
I was really entertained by when Vance's parents came on. I thought Vance's dad was just a hoot.
have you met him?
Not in person, no.
Okay.
I never met any of Vance's parents.
You may
but
not want to.
I never met any of them though. But when I listened to the podcast, when I was still working Skylar, I would have to drive there and drive back. I would listen to half of it there, some of it during my lunch break, and then the rest of it back home, going to David City. And so, I mean, that was really I was entertained by it. I thought it was a hoot. I thought it was fun.
Van was being pretty well behaved on that episode, so
I mean, like I said, it was a hoot.
He's not lying. He was tempered.
The
Had a mild down.
the unfiltered version might be a little more entertaining too.
yeah, we'll do that off podcast.
Yeah,
That's
off
that's a
podcast.
useless episode.
There you go. But no, I love doing. Yeah, it's fun doing it. It's. I like filling in for Cole when I can. I like being behind here and giving my inputs into some of the stuff. So it's fun. I enjoy it all.
Good. Cole,
Yes, sir.
we're talking about touching base here. How have you enjoyed touching base? What's been your favorite episode? You get to sit back there for quite a few of them. So
Mike McConnelly or
Mike Connolly.
Connolly
Yep.
or Nate Ketwe.
Yeah. You
Those
and those have
were-
been pretty consistent for you since they've been
Yes.
done.
I loved them both because you get one with Mike, my American pride, him going into the Marine intelligence and everything, like loved that. And then Nate being a part of movies that I've watched, games that I've played, and it was just awesome seeing the videos that he's done on his own of the lightsaber battles. That was
It's definitely
very impressive.
definitely an underrated episode. And just knowing like, hey, that guy lives in Norfolk, type of thing. A lot of people probably had no idea.
Yeah, I had never heard of him.
Which kind of speaks to what we've said since this touching base has started and have kept going is we have a lot of hidden gems in Northeast Nebraska and Norfolk, all this area that have made impacts across the world that people don't know
100%.
about. And Sam is one of them. I mean, Sam had records.
Yeah.
World
State
records.
records.
State
Yeah.
records. But I mean, you went to worlds though. Like you lifted in worlds, and people don't realize that is somebody that lives here in Norfolk and did.
Oh,
stuff
another
like
one
that.
we've never had on the podcast, but you brought it up one time of that instructor down in UNL that made the McRib possible.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that on Bonds, huh?
Yeah, we talked about that on Vaughn's. Yeah, he invented the the
It
glue
wasn't
that
even
makes
just
the
that. There
McRib
was
happen.
a bunch of different things.
But and he did a pork/beef loin roast thing. Did that too. So done some great things. Yeah.
We've barely scratched the surface on what like our potential in touching base. So let's just put it that way.
A lot of people talk, and we've kind of touched on this. Like people have reached out to you or whatever, and you've had to say, "Hey, you're on the list." A lot of people don't realize that. I mean, between the two of us, we have a massive list that hasn't even been scratched. Like it's a finding the time, finding when it fits in type of thing. But
And some of them we saved for that same purpose. Like I knew we were bringing you on, but I knew you lived here. It's like,
Yeah, actually, I just came back to town too.
because I'd asked you previously
Yep.
to fill in one other time, but you were still in
I was still in David City.
David City and you couldn't make it here.
Yep.
But some of the people that are listening, you might be on the list, but you're being saved for the same reason Yoshi was being saved for a last minute deal. Because I can do it. People that I know like that, I can do the episode real fast as far as like putting the questions together.
Right.
So, yeah. So don't be discouraged if you're listening right now and think, oh, they haven't asked me yet. You're probably on the list. So just wanted to say that. But also, we haven't scratched the surface on anything. Yeah. We've got a lot more people that have been very influential that we haven't even...
We just want to highlight what we offer here. Not us personally.
Yeah.
The people that live in this area.
Vance and I don't offer shit.
Yeah.
It's the people that we bring on.
But we want to bring people on that we can let other people know these people are around. These people are your neighbors. They're your classmates, your friends,
they edge your lawn.
Whatever. Yeah, they edge your lawn. That type of thing. But like but yeah. Sometimes he'll set me off. he'll get me off topic. It happens. But yeah, a lot of people around, especially in this northeast Nebraska area, that have made a worldwide impact. At minimum, a statewide, nationwide, but some things are worldwide. So,
and we are starting to branch out a little bit. So I will give you a little teaser. There are some people that are coming on soon before the end of the year that are not from. Would you still call that northeast Nebraska? Would you? They're from Nebraska, just not quite northeast Nebraska. So we're kind of branching out a little
Nebraska
bit.
pride.
Yeah.
And that was kind of our goal when we talked. We're starting Norfolk, northeast Nebraska. I mean, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And it's people, kind of the Kevin Bacon thing, 5 degrees of separation type of thing. Like we're all connected in some way.
Yeah.
Through tentacles.
We did branch out with Lydia.
Correct. We did. I forgot that we brought
it.
That settle down, tentacle porn. That's not what I'm talking about. Tentacles have different meanings.
Big mixed.
Yeah. So, but the Lydia Taylor Davis was our first attempt at
a national person
that had a decent following that actually.
And that was our first non-in-person interview.
Correct.
And I feel like it went great. It was a great interview. She's a very intelligent woman.
She was very gracious.
Yeah.
Like she didn't have any kind of like these guys are nothing.
Yeah.
Like she'd been on Fox News already. Like we were
we
were small potatoes compared to what she
100 listeners, 200 listeners, whatever.
Yeah.
She's out here, she speaks.
So when we say shoot your shot, you never know.
Just
you never
go with
know.
it.
Just go with it. Does anybody else have anything they want to say about touching base? Because Vance and I probably won't. So if anybody has any more input on the touching base side, otherwise we're going to move on to useless. Going once.
Looks good.
Going twice.
Sold.
Useless. We kind of talked about it in the beginning. It was the origin of the whole AgentLife Media Group to start off with. But I wanted, and I've said this a bunch of times, I didn't want to just start the show. I wanted to get the AgentLife Media Group out there for this reason. Because I knew eventually somebody was going to be like, hey, hey, guys, I kind of want to do this too. So I didn't want to have to keep rebranding when we can just do it from the get-go.
And that was all you. I didn't have the vision to see that.
Yeah, you're like, why are we doing this?
A little bit.
Luckily, at that time, we had 2 shows, and I'm like, well, I kind of want to separate them. Okay. No, but I knew eventually it would grow. and it's grown well. But Useless. I mean, do you want to kind of get into that? It started off as a sports thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the origins of even the podcast alone was you and I in the garage talking.
Yeah, that's been gone
sports.
over a million times.
Talked that 100 times, and that's kind of where Useless started. You came up with the name. I think the name's perfect. Worked great. You said it to me. I was like, yeah, I like it. Works for me. And we were off and running. And then, I mean, obviously, and I kind of touched on it when I was talking my prayer and type of thing, is I was worried about what's going on, worried about how people are going to think about me. Zach kept basically calling me out a little bit, you know, let's go. And I feel like there's a reason for that, and there's a greater power, whatever it may or may not be.
Turns out Vance was kind of bitching out for a little bit, which is surprising.
Happened.
Because normally, you guys know him, it's not really his thing, right? But he was kind of bitching out.
I was definitely nervous. The very first episode we did together, I told him, I was like, ooh, got some butterflies.
You should have seen his face when I told him I texted you. I didn't tell you in person.
You didn't, yeah. You texted me that we got
so
the
I didn't
stuff.
see his face.
And then
I would have loved to have seen your face.
We're at the house for Kai's birthday, and you're like, you want to see it? I said, see what? And he had it all in boxes, but unopened, or it was opened. He had the mics and the headphones and the board, and just he was like a pig in shit, you know, just loving it. He just is absolutely loving it. And I'm like, when are we doing it? And then it was another couple weeks even after that. Finally got me to do it, so we did it. And yeah, it started. It was just going to be sports, and the first episode was probably 50% sports and a little bit
I would
of
say maybe 75%
could be
sports, probably.
and then a little bit of current events, and then a lot of stuff started happening around that time, and we just became more and more politically motivated and realizing the era that we're living in, really. And I mean, if we're going to bitch about something, we got to do something about it, and so that's the way
You
I
guys
kinda
do
felt.
well at it. We were not doing the greatest at the sports side. We just weren't.
And a lot of our listeners actually they liked our other stuff.
Yeah.
They wanted to hear more about the
They
current
heard the
events.
little piece of the current events and like,
We want more of that.
we want more of that instead of the sports
Because
side.
a lot of people don't have the time to digest the news, so they want to. And we're very honest. We'll tell you what it is. And Zach says it all the time. Like, the facts are true, but our opinions are useless. You know what I mean? We'll give you our bent on every fact, but we're going to try to give you the facts, and then we're going to tell you what we believe they are. And a lot of people don't have time to digest that stuff, and so it's been depressing at times and fun.
That's a good
at
word
times.
for it.
Depressing because like we're talking about this again. We're talking about this again, and not. And
It's not
hard to
depressing about
explain
talking about it again. It's depressing having to
talk
find
about
it. Just find it.
Oh, yeah,
Find it
that
first,
too.
and then see it's going on again, and then having to talk about it again. Yes, but it's the show's fun. The show is always fun. It's the week leading up to the show to find all the information that we're going to discuss is the hard part. Yeah. And Cole's kind of found that out a little bit. He started to kind of look on his own. How do you feel about just a little bit that you've done? How does that make you feel?
There are some things I've seen maybe haven't shared or did, and just heat of the moment. I'm on my own thinking for myself, and I tend to get more riled up because you two do calm me down quite a bit because you're, well, what if it means this and this? And I definitely would have, like I was talking to Yoshi, I definitely would not have gotten into politics, current events, if it weren't for the podcast.
You may not have voted,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Tell that story.
I wouldn't have voted. My first time voting was this year's primary.
Which is great because I think we should have had more in the primary voting, in my opinion.
This is my first time voting presidentially, mayor-wise. And as I told Yoshi today, had I not been on the podcast, I still probably wouldn't have.
That's what I mean. So I shouldn't say we coaxed you. Being on the podcast and learning all the things that you've learned prompted you to vote.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had my own opinions already, and not too many of them have been changed or swayed, but definitely more informed.
Yeah. It's good.
It is.
What about you two, as far as the Useless side? I don't know how much you guys listen to Useless.
I'll sit there and watch with Braden sometimes. I like how you say, like, can't wake up, because, sometimes I might be falling asleep on my computer. And it's just funny.
Never once.
Never.
You're never snoring in Discord ever.
No. I did it last night, actually. I had a long day yesterday. I was all energetic and everything, and I just got in my chair and just zonked out.
Eventually, you and Maya are going to need different bedrooms down the road if you keep snoring that loud.
Well, I got a sleep apnea mask. So.
Oh, hey. So you're good now. You're
So
good
she's
now.
lucky. When I don't wear it, she's like, yeah, what the F up? You gotta put it on.
Kill you dead?
No. But on that side of things, though, I enjoy watching you guys when you guys are live. I think it's funny.
Have you
Really
learned
do.
anything?
Yeah, I feel
Learned
like
a lot?
like he said, this is actually my second time voting today because I am now a few years ago, or I guess like back at 18, I became a full United States citizen.
Right. So talk about that. Yeah, clap for that. I don't want to clap with the mic in my hand, but
I moved here in 2004 as a young lad. My parents got divorced. My mom moved down here with my brother and I. We finally went through the stages of becoming a United States citizen because we didn't want to pay for the card just to have a residence card, which that's like over 10 grand, and that's insane. But the process was, for me, was easy and my brother because we went through the school system, everything. We learned everything, history and whatnot. It was kind of a struggle for my mom. But the day that I took the test, you go to Omaha, you go to the I can't think of that place, the NCIS or whatever, or the security building by the airport.
okay.
And you take the test, and they'll ask you these questions, and you be sitting in that room, you hear them yelling at these people that barely speak English and everything. Do you understand what I'm saying? Stuff like it's like, okay. And then they're just talking to me normal, like, and they'll ask you questions like, who was the first president? Or what happened this time? And then they'll have you write a sentence like, we pay taxes. And that's it. So, I mean, that's kind of how easy it is to kind of get in. I don't know. I mean, it's changed too, probably.
Yeah,
over
but
the
you
years.
had to take a test, though.
No, that was the test.
Oh.
So
You didn't have to take the full test?
it was like a few questions and that's it.
Must just be because you're from Canada. Is it different, for Canadians over other people?
They're basically Minnesotans.
Well, I know. I just...
Skull.
Uh-oh.
How much you
It's
drink?
early, Vance.
It's gonna be a long night, boys.
So
So what happened was...
so after that, they would have to set up a court date, and then you would go to the Omaha court, the big building they got downtown.
Yeah.
And you would sit in front of a judge. The judge would approve it, basically. And it was like a bunch of people with me from other countries. And so my middle name's Joel. They pronounced my middle name differently, Joel. So ever since then, I bugged my fiance, I bugged my mom, my dad.
Yeah.
Like, it's not Joel, it's Joel daily. It's Joel.
So it took you from 04 to 18 to
Pretty much, yeah.
become a citizen.
Yep.
And you were attempting to the whole time?
Yeah.
Because there is a waiting process, right? It's a waiting
Yes.
time frame?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now I got a full United States passport, everything. I don't have to go through the Canadian passport, which that was
Yeah.
ridiculous. I had that declined a few times because my eyes were not open all the way, apparently, when they were. And the French people over there are pretty picky.
So what was to getting into school? How was that different than maybe the average Joe?
It wasn't hard. It was just,
Same thing? You
Yeah.
just show up?
they just set me back a year. That way, just a fresh start.
Well, it doesn't seem off kilter, right?
No,
Okay.
no. There were some things, though.
Should they gone 2 years with your grammar?
All right, listen here.
Maybe
Says
3?
the guy who thought the mic was a beer can.
Yeah, he doesn't have a whole
No
lot of room to
longer
talk.
it's there.
Pack
No,
of
but
friends.
I always forget about that.
Yeah.
That you literally just became a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
Like not that long ago.
But no, I've enjoyed living here. I mean, I think it's better than up here. I
You
recently-
enjoy living, unlike
yeah,
Yoshi.
tentacle porn over here.
Yeah, yeah.
I recently went back in September. Just things that's changed is like, wow, you kind of really are glad. Like I'm glad that I'm here. Like,
Yeah.
Up there, it's a liberal
You
government,
got Trudeau, so
which he needs to go.
although you've got that one guy that's trying to kind of get in there.
Yeah.
He's a little more like that guy down in was it Argentina?
Javier Milei.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. But back to your original question though, real
Yeah,
quick.
sorry.
Is
We get off topic here. It's useless now. So
yeah. So I went ahead and voted for Trump. I'll be honest.
no, I'm just gonna toss it out there.
But my mother told my brother I voted for Harris, and he believes it, and so I have to deal with that now.
Your mother did.
Yeah,
Okay.
my brother is on the other side. So, well, he doesn't stand Trump at all, which I can
Yeah.
understand why. But
Well,
I'm not gonna disown him like how other people would. Basically, is what I'm
yeah.
saying.
We don't. I mean, Vance has said a few things, but we don't. I mean, people voted. That's fine.
Right.
Good thing to vote. It's a good thing to vote in general.
Right.
Stand
So
by
at least
what
you
I say.
voted. Or at least they voted.
I don't know. There was questions on there I've never heard of, or like some of the voting stuff. Like I don't know about the judge part. Like, but then,
Always get rid of judges. Always. Because they stand anyways.
And the other stuff you could have learned from last week's show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I've learned a lot about the school board stuff. I've
Yeah.
learned more about the 439 and all that stuff.
You didn't vote for that, did you?
No.
Thank God.
And there was another big one. Oh, we didn't have the mayor candidate stuff, but I still pay
Obviously.
attention. Yeah, pay attention to that.
Yeah.
I hope Jim McKenzie does not win. That's personally my.
He's just throwing opinions out all over the place.
Hey, it's a useless assumption.
Well, still touching base so far, but that's all right.
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you
Shane
want.
Clausen, I hope he
Technically a
wins.
guess. So.
Yeah, you're technically a guest. So you can do whatever you want.
That was my TED talk.
You can bury yourself.
Look at him learning.
I like
He
it.
paid attention for
You
once.
must have took notes for once.
All right, Sam. I don't know how much you listen to touching or useless.
Yeah.
Probably not a whole lot.
I just think it's good to have it out there because so many people just don't get into politics very much, and I'm kind of one of those people. Like I just don't get into it a whole lot. But I mean, that's
I don't blame you. It's not fun.
I mean, but I will say the Useless Assumptions podcast has made me more, I guess, self-aware of what's going on. And I think that's just good for people that don't really get into it or don't really identify with Democrat or Republican or anything like that. And just so they're more aware of what's going on in the
You just
community.
identify as a meathead. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, that's what everyone else says. So
Move stone. Lift weight.
eat protein.
No, I appreciate you saying that though, because that was our original goal.
Yeah.
Was just to get people
Yeah.
aware of what was going on.
Yeah,
in
like
a fun
get
way.
out and vote because to exercise your right,
Yeah.
whether you're Democrat, you're Republican, you're independent, whatever it is, like it ultimately is you're more aware of what's going on in your community, and you exercise that right, and just become a little more educated in it. Really, is the ultimate thing. I do like the little bit of sports you guys still kind of do with like Husker football. I like the Vance dog walking short we did. That was hilarious. I
Came
did
up with
like
that one on the fly. That was on the fly.
That was after drinking
with the
watching
Peter
game.
Griffin soundtrack.
He did that. He
Yeah.
had
That was all me.
That was I actually thought that was hilarious. So, but yeah, that's kind of my yeah. So
Good.
yeah,
I'm glad you like it. I'm glad
Yeah.
our goal got to you.
Yeah.
Got to you. Josh, you hate useless, don't you?
No, it's okay. I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
The goddamn Nebraska fans over there.
Yeah.
I can't deal
So
with
outside of the sports side, I think you've, from what I've seen you come on here, you've been pretty intrigued on some of the topics that we talked about.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely opened my eyes up a lot more. I mean, I still try to stay up to date on everything, but just being on there just opened my eyes up a little bit more, just being more self-aware, I guess, of what's going on. The good things and the bad things, more or less.
We
But
try
yeah,
not to do
it's-
all bad stuff.
No,
but it's
no,
hard.
no.
It's
but
very
I mean,
hard
just,
not to.
Just overall in general, like everything, just you hear about it once, and then you just kind of read into it a little bit more, and you're like, okay, now you kind of see like not really a pattern of what's going on, but you kind of catch on to things a little bit quicker, and you can kind of predict what's going to happen a little bit more just because of such event happened,
Correct.
so to say. So
Awesome. And we appreciate you being on there. Too,
yeah,
and
it's fun.
filling
Yeah, I love being on. Love filling in when I can and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
in. Love that. Cam?
I enjoy Useless. That's kind of where. Well, I caught up to you guys on touching base, and I was like, I like what you guys. I mean, we've talked about like the yin and yang kind of a thing. For what you guys had, so I started listening to Useless. I'm not big into sports, but I enjoy the banter back and forth. But then to be on it, I have really broadened my horizons. I didn't really pay attention a lot to the political side of things like the other guys had mentioned, but it's really shown me what goes on in the world. That stuff I didn't normally pay attention to. Just something. It's a good time. I haven't been really bad about the last month on Thursday nights, but I still have it on my calendar. Every Thursday night at 6:55, it says Useless. So I still try and listen every week.
You've been a busy guy. We get it. Mm-hmm. We're not going to cry about it. We want you back on, though, sometime.
Yeah, I know. A few weeks? Next week?
A few weeks. I haven't told Vance that yet. But
surprise.
Maybe if you guys use the
By the way, I haven't
calendar,
told you yet.
the communication would be fixed.
the communication is fine. He'll know that he has to be here at 7.
I was bringing
Yeah.
up when you were talking
whether I'm here or
about
not. I know.
pins.
No, I know.
We don't put the guess of Useless. It just says it's a standing Thursday.
Well, I'm going to be gone.
Oh, definitely not on the calendar.
But I had, no, because I told you I may still be here.
Right.
I just
Which we
need
did
you
that, I
as-
think, on one
It
of the
turns
kids.
out I'm trying to give somebody a heads up 2 weeks in advance that I'm going to be gone. No, you do that too. But you can't help that you're sick sometimes. I get it.
But no, I enjoy it and be able to come on for the lives. I've done that a couple times, just popped in. It's always
Yeah.
fun. It's just nice to come hang out for a little while with you guys.
100%. 100%.
So it's always a good listen to.
Well, you're back just in time.
It's your
It's
turn.
your
And
turn.
we enjoy you coming on, and thank you for filling in when you can.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. Like I
Um,
truly enjoy it.
And some of the times that you've been on, there's actually been things going on that we were going to talk about that you actually had some more. Like it's almost
Right,
like it
like, I
was perfect
actually
timing.
know, like,
the auto thing.
The CDK Global thing.
Yeah, that was
when I
cool.
was in that was when I was in Kansas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
I knew nothing. I mean, I knew a general idea of what was going on, but the type of information you had on it was that's your wheelhouse. So
It's like I had it in my notes, but I could have never covered it.
Yeah.
Like we
No,
could have
it's-
never covered that subject the way you covered
Right.
it.
I was firsthand talking to everybody.
Yeah.
It was fun. Like I said, I enjoy coming on, and I learn so much when you guys have your episodes. So
Yeah, and we try to bring experts on when we can. There's only so many experts around this area on,
Yeah,
on
we
some
talk
on some of the
intelligence.
topics that we talk about, right?
and can make it.
And can make it here. So, but
No,
yeah,
thanks again. I appreciate everything, guys.
we appreciate you 100%. Anita, we're talking about Useless. What do you think about? You haven't been on yet, but
No, I haven't been on Useless. Like you said, sometimes it can be kind of dark. So every once in a
that's what I was
while,
going to say. So I was going to reiterate that when he was saying that is that it can be fun. Like we try to have
Yes.
fun, but it is. It can
That's
be.
when I talk about the depressing side of it.
Yeah, it can be a
It
very
gets
dark,
frustrating that it's like
100%. We try to I try to throw in some like comedic
Humor.
relief,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, but it's really hard to do sometimes.
So I kind of
Especially when we get off of a hard subject and I'm trying to get him to laugh. It doesn't work sometimes. It just
Yeah.
doesn't work.
yeah.
Because sometimes I don't love to have a black pill episode, but sometimes I feel black pilled at the end of an episode. It's like, God, we just went through this and like nothing in this world is going right. Everybody is doing. All these people aren't doing what I want to do, and it makes no sense. I don't know why they're
Yeah.
that dumb.
Yeah.
I will
Here
probably
we go calling people dumb again.
I would probably say that until probably COVID hit, I was kind of one of those that's like, oh, the government doesn't hate us. The government's not out to get us. I was one of those that's
What
like,
an eye-opening experience that was.
right?
We call
right?
that naive.
I know. I will say that I was
Yeah.
like
And I would have to agree. Yeah.
like I mean, I think part of it was just kind of growing up, not having access to some of the things that we have access to now. Things are a little more out in the open for you
Fresh
research
water,
wise, but
internet. I got him. I got him. I try to get him once an episode.
that was it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
That was good. That was good.
Indoor plumbing. If you would have done that one, it would have.
I thought about it, but I said fresh water instead. Go ahead.
Mine was
sorry.
almost sitting in the wrong spot for that. Yep. No, so I think it's been something that just kind of keeps enhancing the things that kind of started being cultivated at that point in time. But there's some weeks I'm like, I just need a break from politics this week, and
You
then
sent
I gotta
us stuff sometimes though.
every once in a while. And there's been a couple of times
We
you're
know like,
when
yeah,
you
we
already
heated.
covered that.
We know when you
Yeah.
get hated.
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah.
like, I can't deal with these. Like I feel like I'm harsh sometimes, and sometimes
We only get
Anita
like
will send us some DMs like, she's had enough of you people out there in the world.
Yeah.
Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah.
don't get the wrath of Anita. Let's put it that way.
It doesn't come out often.
No,
but
what about once a month
sometimes-
we get something.
sometimes if it's the right topic,
100%.
She's
look
had
out,
enough.
look out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So I've enjoyed it, and I like the spin on some of the TikToks and stuff at the end, because I mean, like you said, you cover so much seriousness, and sometimes it's just good to sit back and
That
get a
helps us
little laugh.
decompress.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to throw that in there. That was
Yeah.
something did you?
I think I started with the TikTok reactions.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And it has just helped.
Yeah.
It's helped us finish an episode on a happy
We
note.
get to end on a giggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
Spitting
try
beer
to
out.
try to mess with each other between everybody.
100%.
It's fun.
Getting Vance to spit out beer, and I've already accomplished that, so we're good. Or like get grossed out. That's my big thing.
No, I don't like that.
Everybody else loves it, so sorry about it. Content.
Definitely don't like that.
I've learned though, living in an apartment, that I can't watch the TikTok portion without having the remote in my hand,
Oh,
because
yeah, we can't like
The volumes.
yeah,
Yeah.
like all of a sudden
Trust
I'm
me,
like,
it blows out.
holy smokes,
it blows
like,
out our ears too sometimes, but I
So
can't
I'm
like
like,
pre-watch them. I just don't have
No,
time.
no, I know, I totally get it. I just feel like have Tourette's in my thumb or
I
something.
mean, it's
like volume up,
2024.
volume
You
down.
think technology would figure that out, but
You'd
apparently
think.
not.
You think the board could just like auto adjust?
Like, just figure this
Or a
out.
producer that could
Maybe
do
our
it for us.
producer knew what's going on.
I turn it down.
I know you do.
Quite a bit.
I know you do. I know you do. I know you do.
No,
Or like when a
that's
Twitter
good.
video or an X video only has audio coming out of the right side.
That's tough.
That's what really gets me. You notice that? I hate that. We used to get that. The first time it happened was down at the office, and I'm like, Vance is like, "Is there something wrong?" I'm like, no, just sometimes they only put it in mono. I think is what it is. Isn't that what it's called? Mono. Yeah. It's so stupid. But anyway, anything else on useless for you,
No, it's good.
Vance? You want to talk about useless at all?
I think I did mine at
Yeah.
the beginning. I'm good.
I think I'm good too. Does anybody else have any questions on the useless side? Because we're going to be getting into useless here in a minute. And that's when the real fun's going to start. Do we want to address any of the stuff that happened? Okay, so everybody stick around, but we are going to kind of address some of these things that were said. So Will Kuchera, Sam Bam, keeping it healthy, drinking water, I'm sure. Kale, the Lions suck, go Pack, go.
You don't know that it's water.
Braden
Will.
said Vance and Zach passed the vibe check. So we're good.
Perfect. I mean, it's elections and
Yeah.
got to be patriotic. I even got the patriotic hey dudes on
Yeah, he
tonight.
does. And then Will also said Cam still owes me, I'm assuming he's talking about a shirt.
No, I think I owe him some twisted teas from the
Oh,
night.
some twisted
from,
tees. I was thinking it was this, going back all the way to the shirt.
No, he helped me in tech one night. I won the race.
Was he
And,
still- okay.
uh,
Oh, yeah. He
yeah,
helped. Oh.
he pushed the shock down. I still owe him some. And I'll see him Thursday, so I should probably put that in the old calendar over
Yeah,
lunch.
big dude
I'm
helped
gonna do
with
this right now,
shocks.
Will.
Could have used Sam there, probably.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Anybody but me.
Yeah. Brody said Sam's looking tiny. Got to get in
Thanks,
the
Brody.
gym. LOL. He also said amen, Yosh. Not sure what we're talking about amen on.
Tentacle porn.
And then, that's probably what it was. And then Will said, "Does Vance need an edging?" Question mark.
I think I'm good.
Not my expertise, but I'll hire a guy.
Sounds good.
And then Mark said, "Kale looks half asleep." You half asleep? Okay.
Open your eyes.
Hey, are you
He does look like he's
are
half
you
asleep.
Canadian or Asian?
He looks like he's passed out.
Mark, that's not very nice. You know that's bullying, right? I have a sleeping condition, okay? Leave me alone.
It's the glasses and the lights. Just give them a break. Just give them a break. Everybody stick around. Ryan, do you have anything else you want to talk? I mean, I know you'll stick around for a little bit, won't you?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about on the whole podcast thing? I know you.
Nah, not that I can think of. Everyone kind of covered useless.
I want your thoughts.
I
guess I didn't get your thoughts, did
no.
I?
That's why I was wondering if he started.
Whoops, my bad.
I was in the bathroom.
No,
That was my
it's-
bad.
I mean, it was a lot of fun helping with it, and it's a lot of fun listening to it. I think it's come a long way. Like I said, with the politics, it's wasn't my cup of tea to start with, but you opened up my eyes and made me kind of push the hand to make me inform myself a little bit, and I appreciate that because I probably wouldn't have voted if I wasn't a part of this. So
You wouldn't have voted?
probably not.
Really? So we've got 1, 2. Anybody else?
I've seen you also have pushed it in the office too.
Yeah, I talk about it every day.
You talk about, and he
The show or politics?
all of it. All of
Politics.
it.
Oh, all of it?
He's definitely.
I like
he's
to get
changing
people
things in
riled
the
up.
office.
Well,
It's
good.
working.
Yeah, I like to rile people up in the office. It's good.
So we got 1, 2 for sure. Anybody else that started voting? You kind of said you, not because of the show though, right? Okay.
I voted before, like listening to the podcast, but the podcast made me just more self-aware and educated
what you're
on
voting.
everything.
Because I mean,
yeah.
Did you feel more motivated?
Yeah, I'd
so
say
maybe
more motivated.
that's-
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
that's what I guess I meant. Because I mean, I did vote for Trump in 2016 and 2020, but 2020 I didn't really think it was going to be Biden. So I was like, I don't know if I even need to, but I did. But today I actually felt like every vote counts.
Yeah.
There's a lot riding.
I
on
felt
this
really
one.
educated today. Like I
Yeah.
went into my ballot and I knew exactly where to go.
Yeah, I knew everything
Vance and I
that
had
was on
nothing
there.
to do with that.
So
Yeah.
I just want everybody to know, like, and you guys have brought it up, like, you've listened to what we said about facts and stuff, and I want everybody to be completely clear, even when we are on useless. I understand my opinion is always right, but you don't have to take my opinion. Just the way I look at it is I bring my facts
I really
up.
thought we were going to have a wholesome moment.
No.
I really did.
I do. I am. I'm saying, if we bring something up and I'm bringing it to your attention, and whether I'm heated or not, or what I'm saying, don't just take what I'm saying. Go do your own research. Go look into it. Go find my vision. Go find the opposite vision, and find somewhere that you find. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I understand it. I'm always right, but I'm fine if you go the other way. My goal is for everybody to use critical thinking, especially on the useless. That's all I really want to say about useless is, like, I get heated and I get crazy and I get wild, and
Banned.
I know apparently TikTok doesn't like when I speak facts, but whatever.
Not
That is
one-
what happens.
We got one taken down, and it was not one of the worst things he's ever said.
Not even close.
He's called people
I've called
demon savages
Arabs
and
demon
way
savages.
worse than what this video said, and we got taken down. And I guarantee it was only taken down just because it talks about election stuff, and it was literally
Right before the
the
election.
day before the election.
And all I said was facts. That wasn't even me being heated.
You swore
on
a
that
lot,
one.
but I mean, we swear a lot all the time.
Yeah.
On
None of those-
on the TikToks.
Yeah, those never get taken down.
Yeah, you might have commented a couple times in there with some swearing, but that's okay.
It's fine. And that's what I.
But that's not what I got taken down for. I
That's
got
also what my prayer was for. I asked God to help me.
Right.
Stop swearing,
100%.
and I'm gonna work at it.
And we have
So,
shirts. Swearing is caring.
Swearing
It's
is
okay.
okay, but I'm trying to not swear and not care.
Right.
But my point is, like, I do. When you were asking, and I said I didn't want to say anything about useless, but what I want to say about useless is my goal, and I'm assuming Zach's goal is the same thing. Is I want people to think critically and make their own decision, but don't just take the headline. We talk about it all the time. The headlines are misleading. You can read a headline and then read the article, and the article will say the exact opposite as the headline. We go over that on our episode a lot. So just look into stuff like that.
Yeah. All we're trying to do is get you guys, like we said, informed. And we like some of the stuff we find that we will call fact. It's not very often, but it could be wrong. And usually, if we try to catch it, we'll say, like, "Hey, we were wrong here," or whatever the case is. But just remember, originally we give the facts and then we talk about our opinions. And Vance will say his is always right. Sometimes it may not be, whatever. But usually we've been pretty on par.
That's your opinion that it's not right.
Usually we've been pretty on par with the way things have gone. Most of the stuff we've said has been has almost pretty much happened.
Give
I
it
should
6
say.
months and everything that people say I'm a conspiracy theory about.
That's what happens.
We always
It's
talk about
gonna
it.
be fact.
It always comes
Both
true.
of us. Usually anything we talk about on the podcast has come true. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, when you're talking about that stuff, like Sam and I, we'll see like stuff on like videos of ours, and people comment like, "Well, this quarterback did this or quarterback did that." Like, we just laugh about that stuff. It's like you can go out there and do it yourself, and let's see how you do or something.
So the people that give us crap on our TikToks and stuff, I have a preset thing to send back to all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just ready to go.
I should.
So
actually
it's
do that
nice.
too.
It's a nice thing to do. It only works for the political stuff. It could probably work for sports stuff too. But
Yeah. So like that Jaden Daniels throw.
But
right?
good comment or bad comments are still good comments. For
Oh
you.
yeah,
100%.
any comment's a
100%.
good
Like,
comment to me. Like
Us as a group, anytime we get interaction, good or bad.
yeah,
If you got haters, you're
you're
doing
doing
something
something
right.
we just laugh about it. We
100%.
just carry on and laugh about it, and then people try to fact check you on stuff, but they try to act like they're right all the time. We just ignore it. We just laugh.
they try to fact check, and turns out you can get a whole episode with a national person because you fact check with their video.
Exactly. That's what happened to you guys. You guys got
100% is what happened.
yeah.
Some guy said abortions aren't happening, and I fact checked it with one of Lydia's videos, and she commented back, and that's how that whole thing went down.
Yeah, I think our favorite one we always talk about is the keto is bullshit one. That one,
yeah.
that was probably our top most hated on.
I'm sure people don't like to talk about diet stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
But that's good. I
Yeah.
mean, that,
it gets
lean
people
into
talking.
it. Lean into it.
You should lean
sometimes.
into it. Do a video response and do the whole thing.
Yeah, but that was on YouTube. We weren't on TikTok at the time, so
I know. I'm just saying.
I should actually, I should repost that on TikTok. That'd be funny.
So the last thing that I'm going to say, and this is the only time you guys are going to hear this, I want to thank all of you for being a part of the podcast and everything you guys have all done. I know that I maybe started the whole journey, but you guys have made it stick and keep going. So thank you all for being here. Number one, it takes a lot to. How long have we been playing in this episode?
Months.
A couple months.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot to get everybody to be here. Number one.
Months, and even my calendar was fucked up because I didn't realize it was National Trade Deadline Day, and
And college football rankings came out today.
no, this is
I'm just saying that's what happened.
that. Okay, you're missing my election joke there.
Yeah.
a
And
little bit.
who's in the playoff ratings?
You're all missing the election.
You're missing
joke.
the election joke there,
Yeah.
guys. Like right over the head.
Might as
But
well
anyway.
be bald.
I just want to thank everybody for being a part of this and keeping it going. Vance and I would always do this, but you guys being a part of it makes it a lot better, easier. It's one of the one things that I can look forward to every week, even though it angers me to get ready for Thursdays. But I do love being in that podcast room and just being able to fight with you guys on sports stuff. And Vance and I bicker all the time about bullshit, and being able to bicker with Preston about the Hurricanes and have a good time and give Yoshi shit about fucking hentai.
All those felons down there in Miami.
Yeah. Even when Cole asks a question about something that we talked about a couple weeks ago, I still love it because he's here and is engaged and is here all the time. And Ryan, thank you for doing the shirts and being one of the early producers that we had in the start. Again, none of this could be what it is today without every person in this room. And I want to thank Kai because, she opens up her house to everybody multiple times a week, to strangers every Tuesday, and just trust Vance and I that it's going to be okay.
Yeah. There's times we may end up getting some badass motherfuckers at some point. We're like, Kai, maybe you shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this in the garage tonight.
We don't know how this is gonna turn out for us, but
Yeah,
you know that.
We'll have to get some security or something. And hopefully we make it big to where we can do more, crazy things. And, we've had some behind the scenes things happen that we don't really tell anybody. But it's not all roses and cakewalks all the time. So, but I do want to thank everybody that's here. and keep doing what you're doing. And we appreciate you, even if I yell at you or get mad at you or whatever. We'll always appreciate you guys. So just remember that. Everybody stick around. This will be the end of this portion of the show. Stick around, though, because we're going to go live for election results and kind of election talk. I think everybody's going to kind of stick around for just a little bit anyway. Everybody will kind of be in and out. But stick around, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes.